a step in the right direction.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You know what that means. It's Gen Z Reviews time. And we have the immense pleasure of discussing an incredible film from the past, 1984, going all the way back to 1984 to talk about the NeverEnding Story. I'm so happy that we got such a great panel here. First, let's talk about everybody. Our friend Sid is back. World War Joe, Ashley, Zombie Girl. She's back again from Field of Dreams. Now she's talking about another childhood classic. And Megan's going to be joining us here soon. We also have Luke. We got it split down the line, people. Half guys, half girls. So you get both sides of the story. Very good. Very appropriate. So, yes, it's a real pleasure. We're all talking about this, childhood classic, of course. This was way before our time. Did you guys grow up watching this? Like around that zone? Not 84. 84 was way before. Right?
It was only 5 years before I was born.
Okay, all right. So
centuries ago.
I'm not good at the years, So
84 was the same year the Terminator came out, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes, which I'll know that. I did not see this movie until it hit video, and I think I watched it at my cousin's house, but I was older. Like, I wasn't very, very young when I first saw it. When I saw older, like in my teens, I wasn't like a very young child when I first saw it.
Oh, sure. I feel like that's the story with most people. Like everybody I've talked to about it, they've all seen it later in their life.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, it's an older movie, real quick, Megan's here too. Hello.
Megan.
Hey.
Meg,
Good to see you, Megan.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. No worries. We thought you were ditching us for a second. We got pretty upset, but we got over it.
I wouldn't do it.
No, it's good to have you here, Megan. Yeah, we're all very excited. The reason why I chose this movie was I gotta say, Roku sold me. My Roku, they have advertisements, like the thumbnail, it'll show a movie. I saw NeverEnding Story probably 100 times, and finally it broke me. And I got to tell you, I am so happy. I never expected to fall in love with this movie like I did. It's almost like, it sounds crazy, but it was like an awakening for me. This is like, it sounds so stupid. I can't even believe I'm saying it. Watching this movie was like life-changing. Like, I absolutely loved this.
Wow.
With 100%. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I'm not surprised. I can definitely see that because it is all about imagination and keeping the child in us still alive. Yeah. And yeah, of course it resonates.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's the perfect blend of joy and sadness. There's so much depth to it. And I just didn't think it's so much heart from start to finish. And it's just abundantly clever. I just couldn't believe how deep this movie was. And it's just full of soul. I cannot remember the last time I watched a children's movie with this much soul in it. And, when I was watching this, there's something like, it's like of course this is a film about fantasy, but when you watch it, it really feels like you are entering a totally different world that you've never seen before. I was really just totally engrossed by it. And, I think that's pretty impressive if you could get that out of me. Because, I'm so used to a lot of the dull, flat, uninspiring animation and story of, recent years. I mean, unfortunately, even in the early 2000s, there really weren't that many good examples of, inspiring, heartwarming children's stories that I grew up with. I even looked back to the past for that. And I am just so happy that we get to talk about this because, every week we talk about old films. And I always say that it's a privilege to discuss them. It's a privilege to go back in the past and watch them. And my gosh, this was a privilege to see this movie. And I just want to start off by highly recommending you watch the NeverEnding Story. We're saving it. We're saving it for now. We're not talking about it at the end. So definitely watch this movie. But in case you guys aren't familiar and you're joining us for the first time, we are going to discuss the film in its entirety. We're breaking it down into chapters, getting into that a bit and into detail. And we're also going to be talking about generalizations in the movie altogether. So yes, lots of spoilers. We, of course, are going to talk about the horrifying scene with the horse, but there is much more than that, even though that's probably what you remember the most. But real quick, I want to give everybody a little tease about the film in case you haven't seen the NeverEnding Story. It's of course based on the book The NeverEnding Story by Michael Ende. I think it's Ende. He's German. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Long time ago, 79. And they adapted it into a film short afterwards. And in this story, we follow a shy boy named Bastian who discovers a mysterious book that draws him into the dying fantasy world of Fantasia. There, a young warrior named Atreyu races against the Nothing, which is a terrifying void that consumes everything, on a quest to save the childlike empress. Now, with the help from a wise luckdragon named Falkor, Atreyu faces deadly sphinx gates, swamps of sadness, and impossible odds along the way, which creates an incredibly inspiring tale through the eyes of a child's mind. Just want to start off by saying, I think this movie, for me, it's had a really strong impact. And I want to know what you guys think. Tell us if this was your first time watching it, your first experience watching the movie, and what sort of impact it had on you the first time you saw it.
All right. First off, I saw this for the first time when I was maybe like 5 or 6 years old. I was very young. I don't know how I got introduced to it, because I remember I asked my parents and they were like, yeah, I've never seen it before. So, I must have just saw it at the movie store when I was younger and just like the dog looking dragon. But no, it was very exciting to me when I was little. I remember like rewinding like certain parts of it and watching it over and over. And especially like the chase scene on the we'll get to that. But yeah, I rewatched it tonight. And it just, brought back so many, like, it was nostalgic and just great. And just, like you said, not life-changing to me per se, but it was, it was a good feeling to watch that again. It was just very magical and,
Nice.
Yes. I watched it last night for the first time. And I definitely have some similar movies that are along the same line that we can get to in the end. But, yeah, I have thoughts. I definitely have thoughts. It was definitely childlike and whimsical, but I have thoughts.
You're out.
Not as bad as Matt, but I have thoughts.
Wow. Don't even bring Matt's name into this equation. Wow. All right, that's fine. All good.
Well, I saw it when I was younger. I was, I think, -6 when it came out, so I must have saw it maybe 10 or so years afterwards, and it really hits. And I remember last week we were talking about Planet of the Apes and saying how, are we going to see anything like this with the rise of AI and stuff like that? And I think outside the Muppets maybe making something, I don't think we're going to really see something like this ever again with the puppets and the prosthetics and stuff like that. And to what Luke was saying, the scene that he rewinded over and over again, was it the Sphinx scene? No?
No, it had some
weird one to
weird
rewind to.
No, it was the
No.
Sphinx,
That's what I was
wasn't
thinking
it?
too, Joe.
Yeah, I was
It could have been.
watching that, my son's taking a nap. He's in my arms and watching. I'm like, oh my god, what are these things?
Right, like
This movie.
I was like, I even wrote specifically down nipples on the
Oh,
statue.
Right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like for a child's movie. I totally forgot
Hey,
about that.
They did
That
different
should
back
be
then.
accurate.
Yes. That's
Yeah, it's
funny.
all about historical literacy, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. What about you, Sin?
I first saw it. I somewhere in my teen years. I saw it at my cousin's house on VHS years after it had come out. I was always aware of it because the song was big and it's pretty well known. I mean, it even featured in Stranger Things a few years ago, and I remember watching it and I liked it. I've never been fully captivated by it like you are. I mean, I really appreciate your enthusiasm for it. It never really touched me in that same way, but I think I can see why it appeals to people on that level. I never read the book. I kind of wish I had, just to have some comparison. I understand the book is a bit deeper and it's geared more towards an older audience, whereas this film diverges a bit from the source material and is geared towards a much younger audience. So maybe that's why I didn't really fully connect with it. I don't dislike it. I'm just not super in love with it. Then I saw it again many years ago and then rewatched it again. Like last night I finished it up. So that's been my experience with it. And I feel kind of the same as I feel like, as I think I always have. It's like, it's okay. It's cute. but for whatever, I like Labyrinth more. Sorry.
Oh, this whole panel's over. Everyone get out.
You're gonna be so
Yes,
sorry.
Sin.
but-
Yes.
I
don't
assembled this
dislike
panel. I
it.
thought
That's
this
the
would be a
thing, but it's
passionate
like-
panel.
It just, yeah, I mean, I feel like I like Rocket Man, the Rocketeer. I'm
Oh.
sorry, Rocketeer a little bit more obviously
That was
than
great.
this, but you know, there was a lot of work I could tell with the puppetry and the prosthetics and all that. Reminded me a little bit of Princess Bride. You know, the husband and wife, quirky husband and wife. Yeah, I was like, this reminds me of Princess Bride. So yeah.
That's sweet. Nice. I'm just kidding. I don't care. It's all good. What about you, Ashley?
I saw it way too young. I was like 5, 6 because I was always like the youngest cousin. So I got exposed to many things too young. But I didn't remember like the whole movie because there was only parts. I remember the whole, you know, Atrax, you know, in the swamp, and then I remember him meeting Falkor and being absolutely creeped out because I was like, what in the world is this thing that does not look like a dragon, you know?
Yeah, right.
And just the way he spoke kind of creeped me out a little bit, but I've seen parts of it throughout my life, but I rewatched it last night, like in its entirety, just sat down and watched it. And I was just like, I like it. I mean, it's deep. It's definitely, I'm just kind of like, how is this a children's movie? And then realizing what the book actually was, you know, more of a target audience for. And then I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I like fantasy. So it's up my alley, but I prefer like Sin. I like Labyrinth a lot more.
Oh gosh, what have
It's
I
because
done?
it's David Bowie.
It is, it's
Conley,
David
Boys
you know,
versus girls here. Boys versus girls. The boys are in the program. The girls are against it. I did not see that coming. That's all good. Here, before we get into chapter 1, thank you all for your thoughts. Let's say hello to the chat, our friends in the chat. Let's start with our super chats. Our friend Mega Spideyman's back again for €5. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. Good seeing you. Glad to see you covering the NeverEnding Story. I'll always love it, especially the final Gmork scene. Will you ever watch the sequels or read the book? Well, you know what? I don't like reading at all, but this movie makes me want to read. It makes me
Maybe see if
wish I
there's
was
an
a
audiobook.
bookworm. Yeah,
Maybe
there you
you can
go.
plug
Read
in.
by Sin. Read by Sin. There you go.
I don't narrate anymore, and I'm not a
Man.
fiction reader for sure.
This could be a just an act of fun, right? Just doing it on your own,
Fiction
maybe.
narrator. I don't know.
Okay. Never
I'm
mind,
sure
never
the
mind.
narrator that has done this is probably better. I personally, in answer to this question, I would be more inclined to try to listen to the book than the sequels. I heard the sequels were terrible.
The second one was all right. The third one has Jack Black, so I mean, it was just kind of
What?
Yeah, I know. I was looking at the cast. I was like, Jack Black was in the third one.
That's
Yeah,
not a good sign.
But was it Jack Black when he started doing comedy stuff, or when he was still trying to be serious?
Well, it was
Serious,
94.
very
It
serious.
was 1994, so you know it was in the
Probably
middle.
serious then. Weird. What is this? Blue collar loser.
I
Turn
forgot.
around. Is this part of the song? Turn
Tell me
around.
What you see?
Oh yeah, in her face, the mirror of your dreams.
Yep. He's
Nice.
got
I'm not.
it.
I'm not gonna sing that.
You got to sing the rest of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you started it, got to
They give
finish.
you
We'll let
money.
Megan-
Come
Megan
on.
can sing if she
No,
really
no,
wants
we're
to.
good.
Oh, she
I don't
can sing.
remember
Do it all
it. I
together.
don't remember it.
Okay. Blue collar loser for $2. Jackson, will you please be my our tax? You look the same. Thanks. I'm glad I have a horse face. Appreciate it. That's good. Nice. Cool. Let's see who else is here. Our friend Rebel Rose is here. Good to see you. I'm just gonna pull one of your chats up. Thanks for being here, Rebel. Proctfile is here as well. Good seeing you, Proctfile. Saw it several times as a kid. It's been a while, but those memories have real staying power. Exactly, man. There's something about it where it just makes you feel like you're with your family a long time ago when everything was great. And that's pretty special if you're able to. If I don't even know why it's able to capture that. It did for me though. I don't know what Hardcut's saying. It's good to see you. Limal.
Haircut.
What does that mean? I don't know.
No idea.
Whatever. Good seeing you. Oh, our friend Ian's here too. Dusty Bun was waiting for someone to bring up Dustin singing a song in Stranger
Yes.
Things.
Yep,
Nice.
that's the scene.
Oh, look, and he says it's amazing. Brawler can watch this film for the first time and come with
Yeah.
80s kids' reaction for it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you're right. Well, let's get right into it. Thank you all for joining us here in the chat and everything. Let's get to the very first chapter, though. where we are introduced to kind of a secondary note in the film with our friend Bastian. And there's not really too much to say about him in the very beginning. We open up in the ordinary world. We're not in the world of Fantasia yet. And this young boy, Bastian, he's a shy, bullied boy. And unfortunately, he's grieving his mother, who recently passed away. And he escapes his troubles by hiding in an antique bookstore. There, he discovers and secretly takes a strange book called The NeverEnding Story. Then, it's kind of funny because he could care less about school. He's a very imaginative kid. It's funny how, like, during this time, being creative and thinking outside the box and children expressing their fantasies and imagination, it's shunned upon. But now, like, I imagine families are like desperate, please be creative, please think outside the box, stop looking at your phone. But back then here, of course, there's a totally different time. He's sort of pushed down and pushed away by his dad because he lives in fantasy and he just has an incredible imagination. So he also can't stand school, which I don't blame him, and I'm totally on board with him. So he skips school and he hangs out in the attic where he begins reading the book as the real world fades away. So it's interesting that we open up with, this child instead of being sucked into the world of Fantasia, right? So how do you guys think the opening establishes Bastian as a relatable kind of every kid, and what the real world problems are that he faces to make him escape from the book, or to make him escape from the world in the book?
I thought it did a decent job setting him up as, a sympathetic character. He's lost his mother. His father's trying to move on. He still can't. He's bullied, and he doesn't fit in at school. And so, I thought that was a good establishing point that we had for him as a character. Because, I feel like probably a lot of us can identify with that sentiment of not fitting in at times, at least. And just preferring to kind of be off by yourself in your own little world.
Luke definitely didn't fit in. I know.
Always that one kid. Yeah, that was Jackson was my bully.
Yeah, I was
killed his dog.
Yeah, that's
Here
right.
we go again.
Yeah, hey,
That's right.
hey.
I'll bully him for that.
Yeah, like Sin said, I thought it was a good opening and everything. I was kind of confused as to why he was the weird kid. Maybe just because he was quiet and imaginative. But yeah, the fact that the bullies would go so far as to throw him in a dumpster, and then as he got out to then try and throw him back in the dumpster was kind of comical, but they were ruthless.
I appreciated that we actually got to see a kid who's just utterly bored by school. You know what's kind of funny? I sort of, like, when I was in school, this reminded me of when I was young, I got in trouble because I would just draw pictures during class. And I think it was maybe 3rd or 4th grade, which Luke was there. And and Luke was weird, by the way. I was more weird though. I was more weird.
Like nerd.
No, we were cool. But I remember just getting in trouble for that because I just could care less about school, and this kid, it's sort of a similar situation with him. He's just so invested in his imagination and his stories that, he doesn't want to be confined to the boring, mundane, fixtures of modern America and being on Earth. And, his dad wants him to get into, his studies and, worry about his tests. And it's like, man, there's so many better things to think about. And it's funny when you think about it, because like nowadays, there's really not much room for kids or anyone to imagine anything, because you have phones, you get busy in school with work. And really, I feel like any time that you're bored, you just pull your stupid phone out and end up scrolling, right?
Yeah, sometimes, not always. But I can relate to the whole having the like really active imagination thing. So like when he starts to read that book, and then he goes into it and how he is, and then how his dad is like, you got to quit being a dreamer and basically just get level headed. I'm like, you are literally talking to a child. Like, calm down.
Right.
Just
right.
let him be. I mean, he's not even old enough to even start thinking about being grounded in his thoughts and things. And it's like, to me, when you have somebody who's that creative and who can read a book like this and just get sucked into it, it's like, why kill that from them? because it's like I feel like the world needs more of that if you really look at things.
Definitely.
But yeah, and I think the reason why he was the bullied kid is because he had the bowl haircut.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah,
It wasn't that bad of a haircut,
was
though.
It wasn't, but it was like if you look at his bullies and then you look at him, and 80s movies are just absolutely top tier for that. They're like, oh, put the bowl cut on the kid that's going to get bullied.
Nice. Yeah, that's a surefire cure. It never works, you know. It never works on anybody. I didn't even think about that looking at him. I guess I'm so used to it. I had a bowl cut at one point. It was hideous.
Oh, man.
Do you remember?
I remember that. Yeah, that's why I bullied him.
Pictures.
It's the other way around. No way in hell. Gosh, you guys are awful. Let's just get through these next few questions about this, the real world, because there's so many more exciting things to talk about. You know, it was kind of a funny sequence here in the beginning, because when he stumbles into the antiques shop, or whatever you want to call that, some bookstore, you know, the bookseller, he warned Bastian about reading the book, right? He kind of made a big deal about it. Why do you think he did that? Because obviously he wanted the kid to take it. He was pretty pleased that, you know, he did take it. So what was up with that?
He could tell he was running from his problems.
Yep.
And he wanted him to distract himself and do what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he was just instigating him. Because after he said, oh, I've read Lord of the Rings, I've read this, blah, blah, blah. He was kind of just like, okay, this kid is like the perfect one for this book. So he kind of just shoved it at him, basically. In a good way.
Yeah. Like some reverse psychology.
He would have gotten the book anyways, though, I think. Whether he was like sneaking, trying to get it, or if he would have just asked him for it. So it's unnecessary a little bit, but...
I thought he was going to be someone later on, unless I missed something with the movie. I thought maybe the book guy was going to be someone in the book that had to have the child read it in order to break the... That's where I thought it was going with.
Yeah, that's what's funny. That's what's funny about the next part. I mean, we might as well get into the beginning chapter of Fantasia then, because it's also kind of a similar situation. How it's funny, we're introduced to these, you know, very like incredible designed characters that are these like freaky creatures, and they really don't play a consequential role in the movie. But you know, they're our first introduction into the world of Fantasia. I guess I'll pull up a picture of the rock biter and tell everybody about the second chapter here. So we're introduced to this surreal world by a wild assortment of fantastical creatures, of course, the rock biter here just being one of them, alongside a goblin with his large bat mount, which I thought the bat was adorable. I loved it. There was a small showman. I don't know what he was. He kind of looked like he was part of a circus, and he rode on a racing snail. And I think that was the group. It was just them, but it was definitely a very interesting intro to the world through the perspective of this group. And I thought that they were going to be doing a lot more with them, but not much happens. Once the rock biter comes into the picture, you know, it's kind of funny how he sort of stumbles into the forest. And at first I thought he was going to be like something evil, but no, he was just a friend riding through the forest on this giant, I don't know, it's like one of those cement flattening machines that I see construction workers use. I don't know what you want to call that, but yeah, he's totally cool. And it was kind of interesting, their dialogue once he entered the space with these other interesting creatures. They all kind of revealed that there's a looming threat beyond their understanding, which is erasing the world around them. And this force, it's referred to as the Nothing. And all of them are pretty troubled by it. And they have like their own stories about the Nothing and how it's affected their lives. And it's kind of sad. And it sounds kind of ridiculous because it's called the Nothing. But, you know, it's sort of like a juvenile way to understand, you know, what this threat really is, which is invisible. And, you know, you figure that out along the way, of course. And, you know, there's a much larger plan at play, you know, through the Ivory Tower. We this band, they go on up. The rock biter doesn't because he's enormous, but you know, you had the goblin guy on the bat. He flies up over to the Ivory Tower where the Empress and her council is meeting, and they are trying to figure out what to do with the Nothing that is tearing apart Fantasia. And this is just, oh my gosh, what a beautiful scene. I think this might have been the most outstanding set piece with all of the characters and the the designs, the masks. I mean, it's really one of a kind too. It's like you see all of these beautiful masks and characters that are so different. It looks like a Hieronymus Bosch painting, and it's kind of funny because I was looking into it, and I guess there, according to what I was reading, there wasn't any inspiration from Hieronymus Bosch, which is funny because it looks just like a Hieronymus Bosch piece. Because I love him. He makes some amazing surrealist work. But, nevertheless, they're all here. It's sort of a council to figure out what's going on. And the Empress's servant, he calls upon Atreyu, who is a young warrior, to find and aid the Empress to save her from this. She has this like terrible sickness and it's slowly killing her. So he is sent to sort of find aid, to find a cure to that, as well as to hopefully solve how to defeat the nothing that is tearing apart Fantasia. And upon his exit, he is given the protective Aran medallion. And meanwhile, on the opposite side of the sphere, this is all characters of strong good and heroism. The darkness awaits on the other end, where a dark agent is dispatched to stop him, which is spawned from the nothing, which I think his name is Gmork. A very strange character that we hear some pretty interesting dialogue from him later, much farther into the story. So yes, very exciting stuff here. It's a wild introduction. I thought I was just totally enamored once we saw these interesting alien characters. Right, I just thought it was amazing. This movie is like a Guillermo del Toro film, but not like rated R. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like, that was a bit of a breath of fresh air because I love his set design and I love his style. And this was very much in that vein. So why do you think we were introduced to this incredible world of Fantasia through the lens of less consequential creatures in the very beginning of the story?
To set the stage for how fantastical and out of this world this place was, I think.
No, I agree with Sin for sure. There were scenes that I wish went on a little bit longer. When they're meeting with the council and the speakers just letting everyone know what's going on. There were some really interesting characters out in the crowd, and just I want to know a little bit of a backstory of this or that. And then just all of a sudden you're kind of thrown into, okay, here's Atreyu and he's going to go on this quest. And it just was, okay, well, but he's coming out of nowhere. It's kind of crazy that just right away he's already there. And I wanted a little bit more backstory from everyone else, though. I was thrown in, but also wanting more out of the scene. So that was one of my nitpicks. The part of the council that were just giant heads that were like statues, those were so cool.
Multiple faces.
Yes.
It was a little freaky. I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I'm a fan of this, but whatever.
Sin.
Very surreal.
It was.
Oh yeah,
surreal.
definitely. I mean, that's rare. It's like, it's art. Something I love about this movie. I'm an artist and I respect art. And this whole film is just art. It's incredible art that is just so wildly imaginative and unique and original. I've never seen anything like it. And like what comes to mind is Dark Crystal, but it's not the same. I think I put this far above Dark Crystal, but Dark Crystal has a lot of creative value to it as well. I guess this is definitely way more heartwarming than Dark Crystal, so maybe that makes it a little softer to take, right? Dark. I want us to talk about that one eventually. This kind of gets me interested in talking about Dark Crystal eventually. But I also thought, we were introduced to these characters because I think they set up the threat well. You know what I mean? I like that we have all of these, in this world, as crazy as they are for us, they set the stage for the impact that this strange threat is having on the typical creatures of the land, right? And they each have a different perspective. And we see that it has a terrible detriment to the characters involved. And that adds, a lot of depth to the conflict that's rising. And it's obviously causing a huge problem for everyone in the world because there has to be this special council. And you see the effect that the nothing is also having on sort of the god of the world, which is the Empress, or I don't know what exactly you want to call her, but she has some sort of, celestial magical powers and sway over the land. So I thought I really liked that. But if we consider, further down the road, we also meet Atreyu, which I'm so excited to talk about his character. I did not think I would be so on board with like a child actor, but my gosh, this kid was awesome. What an incredible performance. It was kind of funny because, you're not wrong, Megan. He does kind of come out of nowhere. I didn't have any problem with that. I think he was called on, previously. It's implied that, they've been trying to reach out to him, and, you kind of wonder where this kid is, but he was called upon because of his, his respectability for whatever reason, where he's from, which it's like, I don't know, some sort of like the valleys of the East or something like that. He is, highly regarded because he's an expert hunter, and he's been a warrior, and he's been through many treks and has passed great tests. And, although they just say that, we're supposed to believe it. And, it's kind of obvious that he is special. He's not just some kid here, just the same as the Empress isn't just some kid towards the end. But he has a funny journey, going out to figure out, this child is set on this quest to save the world, which is crazy to put that in the hands of a child who has never had a responsibility like this before. And something funny that was part of his journey and his quest was that he was forbidden to bring weapons with him along the way. Why do you think that was?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Isn't that weird?
Me too.
I thought that was a funny.
Yeah, it was.
That...
I didn't. Yeah.
Well, maybe it was because everything was starting to disappear. Because you remember when the rock guy comes and he's talking about how everything was just disappearing. So maybe I'm just interpreting it this way, but like him going on that journey without weapons and having to defend himself, quote, because they didn't want anything else to be taken from this world. That's the only reason why I can think of.
I wonder if it was also just to kind of put forth the message about not solving your problems with
violence,
tools or violence, but being able to use your imagination.
Yeah, that too.
Your mind. No.
But it was interesting because they established that he's a really great hunter of the purple buffalo, but yet he can't use his weapons. Was a little bit. They kind of shot him in the foot there.
That's a good point.
Well, maybe they got the hunter because usually that goes well with tracking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the only reason why I could think, because he's good at killing, but like you get him. But the tracking part is the only part that would make sense for me, for him to go instead of someone else. You know what I mean?
You know what I think is kind of impressive about this movie too is like, I was totally fine with him there not being any action in this, because there's literally like no action the whole time. And I cannot think of many examples where a film successfully creates a thrilling demeanor, start to finish, without any action. Right? I mean, do you guys give the movie the respect for that?
I give it
for
that.
I think that's kind of surprising. Like that's
quite unique.
Just like nothing comes to mind. I can't think of anything where there isn't like some sort of action that happens along the way. Because this kid, he doesn't do anything to anyone except the very end. And that's just like a small self-defense gesture. I don't know. That was something that just stood out with me. So why do you guys, we might as well just move on to the next question about Atreyu.
Well, really quickly, but my thing is, because he's not really doing much, everything's happening to him, kind of takes away from his own autonomy for me. That, but I mean, that might just be a kid's perspective of everything.
Well, that is kind of the way a child lives, right? Like it's pretty, like childhood is reactionary, right?
Yeah.
They don't really do much. They're sort of learning along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what could he do, right? I mean, a lot of, I feel like there was like almost like a spiritual aspect of the film, like with his journey. He was being blessed along the way. Obviously, there was some sort of spiritual connection because there were a lot of saving graces that showed up when he needed the most, like Falkor. But I guess I understand that. That's fair. Why do you think, like, when you think about this character and, we see him, you kind of learn about Atreyu along the way and you sort of get a good sense for his character and his past and, what makes him special. why do you think he was deemed worthy to take up this mantle? Why not someone else?
Well, how ambitious he was. He showed no hesitation
He was
of
brave.
brave to conquer this quest, and he went right out there, and even with no weapons, just
Yep.
determination.
Yep.
Well, I think a lot of it came down to, like, his heart.
Maybe
like
that
you
was
said,
the test
I mean,
too. No weapons.
Yeah,
who
If
else
could
he
he passed?
refused, that sort of tested his mettle, his resolve, his actual bravery.
yeah,
Could have been, definitely.
sure. This is funny. Kyle says, spoiler, Megan was a lot more irritated watching this movie last night than she's letting on. Megan.
We're
Go
getting
off.
close to the ones that are
Oh,
more
gosh, what have I done?
more harder to talk about.
What
Just
have I
'cause-
done?
but we're now I was more immersed in at the beginning, thinking, okay, this is pretty interesting, and then it loses me. So we're getting to that point. We're getting to the aggravated Megan in
That's
a little
great.
bit.
Can't wait to explore that. Real quick before we move into the next chapter, I want to talk about this now because I think there's just so much content to discuss all the way through. You think about how beautiful this movie is, right? I mean, the sets are just incredible. The puppets, the costumes. What do you guys appreciate about the film's design, like through and through?
Uniqueness. Every puppet just looks like they could have their own story. They could be the main character in it, and it's just so well done. And like I said, you don't really see that anymore.
Yeah, I agree. The sets were gorgeous and very, very mystical, very surreal. So I enjoyed it for that reason. It was beautiful to look at.
You can say that about Avatar too.
Fire and Ash.
Gosh,
Go and see it.
Lord.
I don't
You
know
can
about
say
that.
in Luke's words, you could say that about Captain America: Brave New World.
Shut up.
I'm never gonna
Why
let
gotta be
that
such
down.
a dick.
Hey, you're such a dick, Jackson. I forget who said it, but Ian. It's like the Wizard of Oz of the 80s. Just it's so much with the backgrounds,
But better. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this
right.
better
Oh,
than
yeah,
Wizard
yeah.
of Oz.
That's
Nice.
blasphemous, right
Not
there.
crazy about Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
No,
dissension in the ranks.
I actually think that the kid actors, they did awesome in this movie because it literally relies on them.
Yeah.
I mean, because you don't get. I mean, it might come across as cheesy sometimes, but at the same time, you kind of have to remember it's the
Yes.
80s. But
True.
it's what these kids also went through during this filming. You're kind of like, all right, well, I got a little bit more respect for you because even the cheesiness, it didn't take me out of the film. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's a
maybe-
fantasy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everything. It's all so wild and like it's such a crazy situation that we don't really completely understand, right? I mean, it's its own world with its own physics and whatever else, so it's kind of hard to take it super seriously. I felt like there was like a bit of cheese to it, but the cheese kind of worked. Like it wasn't cringe, it sort of like fit what was happening when it happened.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what, maybe the music, maybe that kind of hit it a little bit. I feel like the music really just played every note so well in here.
Good.
It could have maybe hid some of that cheese that we're talking about. I don't know, but I'll definitely agree with Megan. I feel like the settings, I just felt like I was in a totally new world watching this, and they just felt so lived in, especially that swamp. I mean, it's like a typical swamp, man, but it just felt like it was something I've never seen before. And of course, we'll get to why. Actually, I think that's the next chapter we get to. But I think the movie, it also just had such an incredible attention to detail. Each one of these spaces, it just made sense for certain characters to live in there. The giant tortoise, it makes sense that the tortoise resides in the depressing swamp, the swamps of sadness. You have Falkor and the gnomes in their heavenly, cozy space above the stars. It all just kind of made sense, even though it was so wild. The ivory tower, it's sort of like a kingdom of heaven. And, you have the empress residing there who kind of plays the ruler of the land. And I just felt like it all just blended so well to create this like truly dreamy universe that felt like a dream. It's so crazy. It is so crazy. Ever since watching this, I've I added some of the music to my playlist. I love it. I was driving fast yesterday on the highway.
Don't drive fast, box office. Don't
I was driving so fast, like I was riding Falkor. That fast. I was driving the speed limit.
Hey, I've been in the car with him. He's
say when the cop pulls you over, I was driving Falkor.
Yeah, I was, and I was there, man. I was there. It was great, and I just love that. I love that. Let's get to the chat real quick before we move to the next part. We're all in rare form here, I guess. Let's see here. Hardcut says somebody is overweight in the book.
Yes. That's in that article I sent you. There are some distinct physical differences between the character in the book, which was important. The author felt that was very important because he was drawn to Atreyu because Atreyu was everything he was not. And the kid who played him, he's not fat. He's not like unattractive. He's a cute little kid. He was in a movie I used to really like called Daryl. He was like a robot kid or whatever. Anyway, I always liked that movie. So, it kind of like ties into why I'm aggravated that they didn't make what's her face Chunky and the housemaid, Amanda Seyfried. That was important to the plot, and they didn't make her chunky. Why? Because maybe nobody wants to look at a chunky Amanda Seyfried, but that was vital, and I guess the author felt the same way too. So.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that about Amanda Seyfried's character, that she was chunky. That's interesting. That could have been. It could have worked. It wouldn't have hurt having that in here.
No, it absolutely wouldn't. But it was important to the plot of the dynamic between her and her husband. So they totally should have left that in.
Real quick, LJ Films and Gaming. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us. First timer here. Driving to this movie song full blast is always good. You know what? He wrote this a while ago. I'm just now getting to it. So he gets it. Don't listen to the haters, LJ. Don't listen to the haters. I am standing my ground. I will not let this panel destroy this film.
Dude, we're not hating on you because we don't think you should drive fast on the highway. It's dangerous.
He's always running
my
from the
ground,
cops.
LJ. Support the chat, man. Support the chat. Oh man, that's funny. All right, let's see here. Ian, honestly, they could have done without Rockbiter and Goblin and the Top Hat Dwarf. Their scenes seemed to slow down the story.
I mean, they were. I wasn't super crazy about their design, but they were kind of important because they had an exposition dump that was vital. They let you know what's at stake, what's going on. Of course, you got more of that too when they had the council meeting, but I think it was something that the movie needed.
I'll go a step further. Do we need to have the story split between the real world and the book? Did they make it like that because they didn't have enough to go on by? Because we could have easily just made this a 90-minute movie of him going through the hero's journey. Did we have to have?
Yes, because that's the whole point of the book and the story.
It stopped a lot of the momentum for me.
I actually liked the scenes that took place in the real world.
Well, it's like the Princess Bride. Do we need to have it
fight?
Agreed.
It did that also reminded me of Princess Bride too. That's another reason. The back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, just like we see like the beautiful sets and all these characters. Like we got maybe 15 minutes until we actually got into the book, though. Could we have used that to tell more about, hey, he is the best hunter because we get to watch all these things instead of being told it?
Well, you have to remember that this was I feel like back in the 80s, they didn't make movies as long as they do today. Maybe today it would have been a 2-hour movie.
Easily.
Yes.
So
I liked the hour and a half. I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they set up the
No,
whole.
Megan's like, no.
No,
Yep.
it's too long. Too much
Too
exposition.
long.
Oh, this
Long,
movie
too
was
long.
too long.
It was. I
Oh.
paused it halfway through and oh my gosh, there's still more to go. Jeez.
Ugh.
Every
that's
time I was
rough.
This
disappointed.
kid's crying about a horse for 90 minutes. What the hell?
Oh yeah, I put in my notes. I didn't cry, Jackson. I did not cry.
Mm.
I have
No
comments
tear.
about
How do
the
you
horse
ban
scene,
people
too.
from StreamYard? Is there a button for that?
Just kick them from
Just
the
kick me
studio.
off.
Ugh. No, that's good. We support diversity here.
Do
We
you,
support
do you know the
diversity.
reason why they had the split back as well? Not just because of the way the book was written. It's because at the end of the movie, he's kind of essential to the overall arc of it and
And that's the
breaking the
reveal.
fourth wall. You know what I
He
mean?
doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Here,
it's
let's get to this
You
chat
have
real
to.
quick, and then
Sorry,
we'll
sorry.
get to the second chat. No, you're good. You're good. I just want to get to this, and then we'll move on to the next chapter. We got a lot to talk about. JG Gunner 3944. I was such a huge Jonathan Brandis fan. I always forget it wasn't him in the first movie. Was he in the second one?
I
I don't know who that
I
is.
thought
It was
Jonathan Brandis was an actor from back in the day. He died pretty
Yeah.
early, I think.
2003.
That's sad.
he just
that
that
was
little
sad.
girl just kind of looks like him with the hair and everything.
This little girl.
Not that one. The actual
You
little girl.
really? You think he really?
No, I'm just
okay.
kidding.
I didn't see that at all.
I'm just kidding. Just because he has long hair. All right, let's move to the third chapter, which is everybody. It's funny when I announced that I was talking about this movie. Everyone, of course, mentions the horse
horse.
scene, right? And somebody
Mhm.
spoiled it for us last week, thanks to whoever that was in the chat.
Well, I mean,
Or
there's
maybe
a
it was
lot
you,
of
Luke.
memes.
I think it was you.
I didn't comment that.
Oh, maybe it was somebody. Well, I think you said it.
I
on the
don't see
stream.
how you escaped that. There's so many memes about this.
Well,
It was
Remember,
very
this scene was
traumatizing.
I don't
heartbreaking
know.
as a child. and
Side note, it was
shows
before he revealed what we're watching. So, I mean,
eh,
Oh.
whatever. All right, so here we are.
Yes.
Here we are. You see the beautiful horse, Artax. I loved this moment. There's just so many simple moments where characters are just, having fun, being happy, flying, riding the horse, traversing the beautiful meadows of this world. And I just feel at peace watching it. And this was such a simple little moment where our friend Atreyu, this nice young man is really just loving his life, riding his loyal horse, Artax, through the gorgeous plains and valleys of Fantasia. Giving us a breathtaking view of the endless world of color, right? I mean, you just see how beautiful Fantasia really is. And, he's seeking the Ancient One for guidance. And we're kind of curious about who the Ancient One is, right? And the loyal pair, they trudge through the treacherous swamps of sadness, a place where despair itself becomes a deadly force. When you fall into despair within the swamp, then you are susceptible to sink in the mud into death. And of course, highlighted as the most iconic moment from the film, Artax the horse halts in the mud as Atreyu desperately pulls to save him. To no luck at all, Artax slowly drowns in the mud, never to be seen again. So it's kind of interesting because, we don't spend that much time with Artax the horse here.
No.
Beautiful horse. But I couldn't help but to feel overjoyed to see the connection between Atreyu and the horse, even though we just get a little piece of footage with the boy and the horse before the catastrophe, which we're about to talk about later. So what if you guys felt the same? If you guys felt the same way about this, kind of charmed by the relationship, what do you think made it charming in such a short amount of time?
It's an animal and his human.
It's the innocence of
Yeah, people
both
are
of them.
drawn to that connection. I was actually quite surprised that his death happened so soon because in my memory,
Yes.
I thought that it was something that happened much later, and that's why it was so utterly traumatic
Mhm.
when it occurred. And so
Yeah.
for some reason, when I'm watching it this time, yeah, I mean, it was sad. I can't stand to see animals die or, whatever, be hurt. But it didn't hit me the way I expected that it would hit me upon a rewatch because of how often I see these memes and references to this scene. And so I was really surprised. I was like, dang, I thought we had more with their relationship, and I'm kind of bummed that we didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised by how sudden it was too, right?
Yeah.
I thought we'd get a long time with them, and bam, there he is in the swamp.
And why Atreyu didn't succumb to the swamps of sadness during his despair that Artax was going down. I didn't understand that.
Do you think that he was kind of like a sacrifice in a way to like he had to let go of the thing that meant the most to him to just move on? You know how like you have to
Good
like
point.
be mature, like, you know, the man and the hero has to like let go of things to become who he's going to become. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Like the reader and his
test.
mom that died. You had to get over that to find, I guess, him to move on from these things. So yeah.
I like what Rebel Rose says here. The death of Artax is like watching a pure spirit sink in
that's a good point.
depression and loss.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
you know what? I think to answer your question, I feel like he was able to stand against sinking. I bet a part of that was because of this medallion. You know, it does have like a supernatural capability to it.
Okay.
And he also, maybe he was able to control his emotion. Like he didn't show it. He was letting it out, but you know, maybe it wasn't as strong as whatever the horse was feeling here, which is strange that it, you know, that it sunk, which I kind of want to talk about that too. You know, I think that it's funny. We don't spend too much time with this horse. And, you know, of course, this is like, you know, you said it's memed a million times over. And gosh, those stupid memes, they ruin so many great moments in movies.
True.
Because you can't see them beyond the meme. Thank goodness I never saw those memes. So it didn't ruin this scene for me. What was tragic for me watching this was that I watched it on Tubi. And you know what? When I watched Goosebumps, I got through nearly the entire series on Tubi. There wasn't a single ad. There was an ad break when the poor horse was up to its neck in mud. Isn't that terrible? This is the worst timing I've ever seen on an ad.
Wow.
Yes. And you know, the dramatic, it literally ends with Atreyu screaming, Artax! And then there's ad, just boom, hits you right in the face. So disappointing. But you know, I think the horse, it had a personality of its own. You saw that it was silly, that it really cared about him. And you know, the connection that they two had was shown because of, you know, the way he reflected how much he loved the horse, right? And how much the horse meant to him. And you know, seeing a child with that amount of joy is just a charming, just enlightening expression that, you know, everybody loves to see. And you know, it's pure innocence, like you guys said. And it's two very innocent characters in such a terrible situation that really I haven't seen anything like this since. I've never really seen an animal, you know, depicted in such a vulnerable position like this. The only other time that came to mind, which is a much stranger example, is in the first Sisu movie. You remember what happened there? The horse blew up.
Yes.
Oh.
The best part with that movie was so smart though, because the trailer, they kept telling you, the audience, that the dog does not die, but they didn't say anything about the horse.
Yeah, I was thinking
sad.
John Wick when you asked that question.
Oh, with a horse. Oh well, yeah, we're just talking
With
about animals
with
though.
this dog.
Yeah.
I would say it wasn't a death, but chance from, is it why am I spacing on
Homeward
it?
Bound.
Homeward Bound. Thank you. I was like, a Wayward Home. No, that's not
Yes.
it. Homeward Bound. That got me choked up.
That
The
was
horse,
a
not
good
so
one.
much. Sorry.
Gosh, Megan. I always think, you know, we all like Megan. I always hear good things about Megan. She's so sweet and nice. And the horse is drowning. It's dying. It's descending into the depths of mud hell. And it's all good. It's all right. No problem.
Well,
it's all
Megan
good.
likes Oh Hi, so you know that's an indicator.
Not
Something's
a
twisted over
psychopath,
there.
Sin.
Something's twisted
What are
over
you
there.
trying to say?
Gosh, real quick, I feel like we kind of touched on this, but for anybody that didn't express their feeling, we won't talk too much more about the horse. But how badly did it affect you the first time you saw this scene?
It was
I-
shocking.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that it was. I didn't even remember it
worse
from the
picture.
first viewing. I think it was the memes and stuff that reminded me of this scene. For some reason, I had completely forgotten about it. It probably affected me more when I was younger,
Yeah.
but I don't remember. Honestly, don't.
Wow.
It felt it traumatized me way more when I was younger. It's much more sad, but I already saw it coming. So, you know, you didn't have those
You were
first time.
ready.
Yeah, I was already ready. So it's just the circumstances of, it's not like it's just sinking in regular quicksand, and you know, that would be a lot more sad in my opinion. This horse has already failed before it entered the
What are you talking about? It's failed?
Yeah, it didn't. It doesn't.
What did it fail?
It doesn't have a strong mind. Hey, this horse is already bound for failure.
Gosh, you're evil.
Okay.
That is insane.
Hey,
The horse failed.
like, yeah,
Poor horse.
the horse
It's trying
wasn't
its
ready.
best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
funny.
can't imagine.
He's just a
Luke,
little
I can't
animal, he
imagine
doesn't
Luke
understand.
at
I'm
like
glad I didn't
I
watch
know.
this with
glue
you.
factory. Luke at a
Just
glue
laughing the whole
factory.
time.
You
Yeah,
all
horse.
failed.
Dumb
Oh
horse.
my gosh.
No, I wouldn't be
Wow.
saying that. No, but my point is, it was like, you know, we all have our favorite pets, and you just imagine, you know, that happening to your favorite pet. Like, or at least when I was little, I was imagining my dog happening to my dog. So that's why I heard a
Yeah.
lot more.
Well,
but yeah,
maybe it also hits close to home, because that's a great point. That connection you have with your pet, right? And you know, I think of like a lot of the sad moments in my life, and most of them are the death of my pets. You know, I lost a lot of good pets, and they mean a lot to me. And you know, it's weird, like seeing this and seeing, you know, the child's connection to the pet. You know, it's his best friend die like this. It kind of makes you think of like, you know, your old friends that passed away. And usually, you know, I hate to say it, a lot of the time it's usually kind of a tragic death for them as well. You know, getting old, whatever else happens, getting put down. It's sad. So, yeah, I think that's why I bet that's a big reason why it hits home with a lot of people. Also, it's just really disturbing scene, and it lasts a long time.
yeah.
You know, we're kind of lightly mentioning it, and I'm kind of wondering what everybody thinks before we move on. Do you think, like, because, you know, we're talking about how the horse sunk because it seemed like he embraced sadness. Is that what happened, or was he just too heavy for the mud?
He embraced sadness.
It
He
seems like,
embraced
yeah,
it,
but
'cause
what
that's
could the
what the
sadness
swamp-
even be, right?
Well,
Failure, man.
I don't know about, like, that is a little confusing. I just wonder if it was fear. But fear's not necessarily the same as sadness. So I don't really understand. Maybe the book explains it more.
Yeah, that would be a good site for the book. Has anyone read the book?
I attempted to when I was younger. But then when I learned that you can't actually go into the fantasy world, I stopped.
That ruins it.
Yeah. I was very upset.
One quick question before we get to the chat and then get to the next chapter. Do you think children's movies should show tragic moments like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're
Definitely.
a part of life. I think they're important for children to understand and be exposed to.
It sticks to
Obviously,
them a lot better.
depends on how graphic you're talking about, but you know.
The more traumatizing, the better.
Yeah, it seemed like
Lord.
old children's
Because
movies, you know,
then
there's
those
a whole
kids
different
will
level.
remember it. You know, they'll remember that scene.
But it might scar them terribly.
Like,
Like,
what's the
you know.
Watership Down? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah,
the
Watership
most,
Down.
That is
yeah.
the most
is it?
horrifying children's film of all time.
What is it?
It's about
Watership
the rabbits
Down.
that eat each other or something. Don't they eat each other?
Oh my!
Or
There's
the
a
dog
scene where
tears
there's
one apart.
rabbits killing each other. It's kind of
Oh.
bloody.
It's awful.
Animated or
Yeah, it's
Animated.
animated. It's
Based
like
on a
it's like
book.
Winnie the Pooh. It
Whoa.
looks just like it.
Wow.
Yeah,
all right?
it's pretty sad.
I will not be checking that out.
Yeah, I kind of wish that children's films, you know, were more serious and had these moments, because, you know, you're right, Sin, that it's like, you know, tragedy's bound to happen, and it kind of prepares them for it, right? And you know, life is full of unknowns, and you know, this wasn't graphic, but man, it was effective, and you know, it just kind of it also heightens the stakes, right? This movie, you know, for being a kids film, it had serious balls. I mean, it went all out with, you know, how far the conflict can rise. I mean, to the point where everything's destroyed, literally the entire world. Like, who could possibly imagine a children's film would go that far? And it goes that far. And man, you got to respect that. Yeah, but let's just say check out a few of these chats real quick, and then we'll move on to the next part. Oh, Kyle, you two smug people. That horse did not fight the quicksand at all. It's not quicksand, buddy. Artax must have wanted the sweet release of death from Atreyu. They loved each other, Kyle. They loved each other like brothers.
Oh my gosh, Kyle.
Oh, Kyle, you hurt. You hurt me. Where's the sweet Kyle from 2 weeks ago? Bring him back. Oh, that's good. Oh, and Ian agrees with you. Even worse, our friend Ian agrees with you.
I disagree. I don't think they're right at all. Either one of those guys.
Good. JG Gunner, thanks for joining us, JG. The horse dying in True Grit. Oh, okay. I haven't seen this. Way before my time, but my parents made me watch it. Oh, it's the original True Grit.
Either one is good, honestly.
I don't remember a horse scene. I haven't seen that in a long time. Oh, look who's here. What better way to have a child experience the emotion with the parent being there to comfort and explain? Oh, well, there you go. I like that, Boaca. This is why we love Boaca, people. Do you understand? This is why we love Boaca. Boaca says how it is. Just like that. Good to have you on, Boaca. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here.
How am I going to explain this scene to my son when we watch it for the first time?
You got to figure that out. You got to figure that out. Give it a few years. You don't have to tell him right now while he's a baby.
Yeah. Sometimes animals die in quicksand. Maybe sometimes.
What's going to happen if we go on the beach afterwards?
Right.
He'll be scarred. Thanks, Boaca. Proctfile's here. $5. Thanks, Procto. A quick side note, had a fun time interviewing Kyle for 2 hours over the weekend, but now I got to ask the panel, what do you guys think of him? Ooh, the big question. And Megan's not here to defend him.
Oh, look, she popped out and muted herself. Very timely, Megan. Very timely.
No, she didn't want to tell the truth. No, we love Kyle.
No, I'm here.
We appreciate Kyle. If we didn't love Kyle, we wouldn't want him on all the time, but we always want Kyle on. So
I think he's very insightful, and he has great discussions on his YouTube channel.
Agreed.
Ow.
Kyle's good. We appreciate Kyle. Always good having him on. JG Gunner. He says, I rewatched it with my kids. I just realized I need to wait a year or two first. Nice. Are you talking about this? Oops. Oh gosh. Proctfile says Watership Down is an animated movie about some rabbits going on a journey to find a new home. Brutal obstacles along the way, but a good movie all around. That would be crazy to watch this. That would be crazy to watch that and talk about it on here. I don't think we'll ever get to that point, but definitely would be freaky. If anybody hasn't heard of that one, it is absolutely scarring. If you think this movie is scarring, that one will shake you to your grave.
I guess it depends what age you are when you saw it. I watched it for the first time not long ago for a live stream discussion with Sound Booth Theater, and it didn't it was a little bloody. There's blood and rabbits killing each other, and some of them are mean looking, but for whatever reason it didn't. I don't know. It just didn't hit me the way I expected it to. I had put off watching it because all these things I heard about it, and then I was like, "Oh, that's it. Oh, okay." So I don't know.
Nice. Well, hopefully nobody puts off watching this because this is a great film. Chapter 4. Here we are. We are introduced to the wisdom from Morla, the Ancient One. Now, unfortunately, poor Atreyu here. He's gone through a really scarring situation, and as he watched his best friend drown to death in a puddle of mud, really sad. And now he is exhausted and alone. And remember, this kid is only 12 years old, and the actor's only 12 years old too. And he puts on a great performance. And he finally reaches the Ancient One, who is Morla, a giant tortoise. And geez, I can't remember how old it is. I think it's like 10,000 years old or something. Like, this tortoise has been around forever. And it lives in isolation. It lives and resides in this really depressing swamp, the swamp of sadness. That's no place for anyone to live. So I imagine it's been affected by the swamp, or maybe it's the source of the sadness of the swamp, right? I mean, kind of, it fits the climate, right? And, Morla, it's funny that this character offers kind of cryptic advice with very little encouragement. Morla could really care less about what happens to the world. And it sounded like it was pretty cool with just dying. I mean, it's been alive for so long. There's probably, he doesn't do anything at all. And he's been alive for 10,000 years. So he's kind of ready to go.
Sneezes a lot.
Yeah. The sneezing was funny. I thought, but also kind of like, gosh, I really liked that. You had the kid here sitting in the tree, and man, you saw just how powerful that tortoise was. And it was funny, but it also kind of like I don't know, it was sort of effective. Like it just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I just liked it. There's nothing to say. But poor Atreyu here dealing with this, it's like this isn't the kind of counsel he wanted. This oracle or the ancient one was supposed to be a special guide to save the world, right? And he hears terrible news from it. The oracle or the ancient one says that he must go to see the southern oracle, who is 10,000 miles away, to figure out how to save Fantasia and save the Empress. That's terrible news, right? He's really, he's on a time constraint, and now his best friend Artax, who's, his steed, his transportation is dead. So he's really screwed. He's depressed and he's injured, and he's laying there in the mud and defeated in mind and heart. And the evil beast that has been lurking from the nothing finally meets him and lunges towards him, but misses by just a hair as the great Falkor, the luckdragon, flies to rescue him at the perfect time, delivering him to a sanctuary deep into the sky. So I guess real quick, we don't have to talk about this very long with Morla. We don't really see too much of this character, and I don't think it was all that deep. But why do you guys think that Morla was so indifferent about the end of the world and all the terrible things happening?
He said himself he didn't care at all because, the depressing realm he was in at the moment, he just made him such a pessimist and, just a sad. He's multiple times he acknowledged that the world was going to end, but he was like, yes, but I don't much care. He said that like 3 or 4 times.
Do to people,
Yeah. So that says it all. It's just where he is.
I think that he is like the embodiment of nihilism. Because especially when he says, I'm allergic to, or she, whatever it was, I can't remember. I literally cannot. If it was, I'm allergic to youth. That's why it was sneezing so much, because it didn't like him, basically. And just how depressing. I don't care to care. I remember him saying that, and I was like, oh, you're a nihilist. Got it. That's why you live in that swamp, which is very depressing. But yeah, it was just like, oh, they actually have representation of, not all nihilists are like that, but most of them are. And I think that I even saw that in somebody else's review. They were just like, this dude is like a pretty good definition of what that is, because you have the depression. He just doesn't care about really anything.
Which is why he's allergic to youth. The youth represent innocence and
hopefulness,
purity, hopefulness. Yeah.
I took it a different way, because how old is a turtle?
Gosh, I need to figure out its age. I'll look it up real quick.
1,000 years, right?
Very old.
Yeah, so I mean, look how many times he's probably experienced the end of the world, and it's like, oh, every other week it's supposed to be something like that. Apparently, you turn on the news today, we're going to war with something else. So he's a 10,000-year-old turtle. He's probably heard the end of the world 100 times.
I think we all have at this point, right?
Yeah. What is he? It's like, oh, I guess.
Oh, it is a she, and it says there isn't an exact number, but it's like 1,000 years, so not like 10,000.
Okay,
years. But that's still pretty old.
Yeah, because I
but
thought it was
I don't know.
That's almost as old as Wilkie.
Wow.
Poor Wilkie.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know that this turtle or tortoise would brush off. It seems like this whole thing about the nothing taking over is very real, and everybody knows it's very real. So I don't know that would be necessarily the reason for his dismissive attitude about what's happening.
Yeah,
everybody seems to know it's happening.
Yeah.
I liked this scene, and I thought it was really cool with the turtle/tortoise. It looked really cool and interesting. It's just, again, for me, it was like a scene that just went on way too long. I didn't really delve into or thought much about what was being said. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, every 2 seconds he's being sneezed out of the tree, and it's like the same gag again and again.
It worked.
Nothing's happening. He's shouting at the turtle. The turtle is saying nothing, not that it matters, again and again, and I was getting so irritated. So I wish I had these grand ideas of what it could have meant, and the whole time I was just fuming with anger. Just get the scene over with.
Oh, that's
This
funny.
is fantastic.
Nice, Megan.
I love
That's
it.
Good.
Thank you.
I
Not
think you need
fun
to
for
watch the
me.
movie 3 more times, then maybe you'll have a better understanding.
No, I will not learn anything.
We'll do a
new.
live watch along.
Oh my gosh.
I liked what
Cursing
I liked
in the room,
what
stuff at the
Rebel
wall.
Rose said here. This made me laugh. The turtle has watched too much CNN. I don't know. It's hilarious. I don't like. I'm not. It's hard for me to laugh at something I read, but that made me laugh. That was good.
Mhm.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Well, we won't talk about the turtle anymore. We're kind of past that. Great insights, people. Very good. Like just in general, I feel like we're going to talk about Falkor a bit here, which I'm excited. I love him so much. Why do you think practical effects and practical characters, all of these, obviously the tortoise, nothing here is like CGI, it's all real, it's painted sets, it's, all physical stuff, practical, right? Why does it feel more real, even if it's not perfect? Because we see here, the lips don't really go well with the language, and, it looks finicky. It's obviously puppets. Why is it like, to me, I feel way more engrossed by that, and I feel totally immersed in the environment and the story infinitely more than the CGI garbage we get now. What makes it that way? How is it able to drive that sort of authenticity, unlike what CGI can do?
It's tangible. You can tell it's tangible, and it's something that they're physically reacting to instead of a ball hanging in front of a green screen.
Exactly.
That's great.
And you don't see it anymore. I think it's too saturated
much.
today with CGI and everything. And then when you see something like this, it's like, whoa, this is different.
I mean, it was a breath of fresh air. You get it in Project Hail Mary.
Yes.
Because Rocky's a puppet.
Yep.
True. Yeah, that's a small example, right? I don't know why not just make more of this? At least some, right? I mean, do kids, like, I kind of wonder what kids think, because I don't know any young kid that's seen this in recent time and reacted to it. I'd like to know what they think about this, and if they think it's silly, if it like doesn't work anymore because of what they are watching now, with how the effects and whatever else. I mean, kids are now growing up with strictly CGI aliens and creatures, right? I mean, that's pretty interesting. They're not, unless they're growing up watching old stuff, which they probably are. But
I will admit that.
hopefully parents are raising them right, not just, putting the TV on with this modern crap. But I wonder how they feel about it. I wonder if they feel like this is like special or not.
No,
Because,
they like it.
it's not completely convincing because, Falkor, his mouth moves kind of funny when talking. Same for the tortoise here. I don't care. It doesn't take away my experience at all. But I think there's definitely, it's noticeable. There's no doubt that's noticeable.
Yeah. Well, I have nieces and nephews that are in this younger generation, and I don't know if they've seen this one, but I know they've seen I know they've seen like Dark Crystal. They like it. They don't. They're not the type of kids, but granted, my brother has also raised them on more older stuff than the newer stuff, because I think the newest thing that his children watch is like that Bluey show, like his youngest ones. But the older ones, no, they like this kind of stuff.
Oh, good.
They like Dark Crystal. They like, their favorite movies are like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. So
Nice.
I mean, there are some films that have, it feels like, well, they're definitely more rare, but besides Project Hail Mary, which was not filmed in front of green screens, and it was pretty much primarily practical stuff going on. Primate, that was practical.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was practical. That chimp was
That's
actually
true.
acted by a person, and it was much more convincing and terrifying than what we would have gotten if they made him CGI.
yeah, kind of like the Planet of the Apes movies, the new ones. When they get too CGI'd looking, like when they're battling, I'm just like, kind of takes me out a little bit. I like the old ones when they're in the suits,
I don't know why they even did that. I remember they were promoting one of the Planet of the Apes movies, and remember some people were dressed as the apes on horses in the beach. You remember that? They looked perfect. Like, why not just do that more?
I personally like the CGI of the new Planet of the Apes. I don't think
I
I could
do
watch
too.
the older
It's
ones
well
without
done.
cringing.
It looks great. Yeah.
No, like when they're like talking and conversing, they look real. it's more of like when the battle scenes. It's just like you can just
Physical, like action
Yeah.
and stuff.
that's the thing that kind of just takes me a little bit out of it.
Mhm.
That's about it though. I think they look awesome though. Like when they're talking, it's like get out of here.
Mhm. Nice. Here, let's talk about our friend Falkor,
Mm.
the luck
This
dragon.
freaky thing.
Freaky, no!
Oh.
Gosh,
He is kind
no!
of, yeah, the mouth
Oh.
not matching is a little troublesome. Like my brain didn't
Yes.
like that too much, but I did like that he looked like
Yeah.
a dog.
He does.
How does it look like a dog? People are
He
saying
looks
that.
kind of like a dog.
That absolutely looks like a dog. I thought that was
Yes.
a dog growing up.
I didn't think it was a dog at all. I don't get it.
I mean,
a
I know
golden
he's a
retriever.
dragon, but he
Do
doesn't
you
look like
not
a
see
dragon.
the ears?
Yeah, and just, I don't know. He
Well,
looks like
Snout.
a dog.
Apparently he looks I can't remember if it's Chinese or if it's Japanese. They're kind of versions of dragons.
Mulan?
Like
Ah.
yeah, it's more of like an Eastern look instead of the Western look like ours.
Oh, okay.
That's that's what I remember reading, and I was just like,
Okay.
oh,
Interesting.
it makes sense because he
Yeah.
kind of does look like a little bit like Mushu from Mulan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Just
there you
big
go.
version.
Wait, that's the dragon thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Yes.
red dragon. Okay, nice. Huh. Well,
Yeah.
what do you guys like? For me, obviously, I think people in the chat are agreeing as well that, Falkor is an incredible character.
Mm-hmm.
And I find him very endearing and likable.
Mhm.
If you feel that way, what makes you feel that way about his character?
Just a friendly, heroic character.
And you can fly. You can ride on
Mhm.
and fly.
He can do
That's
everything.
cool.
That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
It would be. I don't know. He kind of looks. I mean, as creepy as he was to me as a child, okay, like now he's just kind of fluffy looking. You know,
Oh my gosh.
you can't
That's
tell me
true.
at 5 years old looking at this
Sure,
thing, you wouldn't be
sure.
creeped out.
Maybe.
Mm.
I don't know.
All right.
Oh,
That's a good
it-
question.
If you were gonna say that that the movie Signs was a bad movie, this would be like Jackson's 9/11.
Yeah, for real, man. This is how
This is my least favorite character from the whole movie.
You are
so
evil if you
the
think
reason,
that. Like,
the
there's
reason
no
I
way.
love this character so much, I just remembered. He's one of those characters that you rely on to save the day because
Yeah.
he's so overpowering and just a very reliable character. Is like when he came in last second to pick up Atreyu.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Right, the saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
I think he also, like, his character, he's kind of like a Gandalf in a way. He operates strictly. I know it sounds kind of funny, but I mean, he's wise and he is that saving grace. And
Mm-hmm.
just like Gandalf, he operates strictly on love and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Atreyu, he doesn't have, once his horse dies, he lost that noble friend that cares about him and is there for him. And here we go, Falkor, he just immediately takes his place. And I think children are so vulnerable already, and this kid Atreyu is so likable. He's obviously determined to do what's right despite the horrors that he's going to see. He continues forward. He's not sent back. He's not dissuaded to continue forward with his purpose to save the world. And finally, he has some support. And this guy, he shows up time and time again. And, I think he just shares such a sweet dialogue with him that feels like family, like a genuine, like familial connection. And it's funny because it's a dragon or whatever this thing is, but it just elicits that sort of warmth that I think is kind of like, it's sort of like a indescribable charm. And I think so much of this movie is full of these characters and these moments where we see just how special a connection between a character and another character is, and how it's sort of like of its own. We saw that with the horse and him. We see that with him and this character here. We see it with the Empress. I thought the Empress, I'm excited to talk about her later. But, this character also, he's purely good. There's nothing wrong with him. He asks for nothing in return. And he seeks to do the right thing for our hero, right? And like I said, this kid is just so vulnerable all the time. And finally, somebody's there to help him out. And also, we're talking about, like, I think it's kind of funny because he has, I remember I've seen clips of him before, and he has this hysterical laugh. And it is a hysterical laugh. It's not exactly a calming laugh. It is hysterical.
Yeah.
but I thought it was endearing. It was a little much, I won't lie, but I thought it was still endearing. But of course, what's his name? Alan Oppenheimer. I just talked about on Dark Hour stream. He just has this soft, warm voice that just makes you feel like you're talking to like your grandma, your grandpa. And for me, that's the kind of warmth I got from this character. It just felt like an older relative that you haven't seen in a long time. Yeah. Yeah. And I also thought, like, with his character, just seeing how this sounds so stupid, seeing how squishy and like soft he is, he kind of felt like the physical embodiment of your favorite stuffed animal in massive form. Like that's a hard feat to meet, and I think that's pretty special. It was able to have that kind of level of maybe this is all a me thing. I don't know. Like I saw all of that. I saw Falkor, and it took me back to, holding on tight to my favorite stuffed animal that comforted me when I was troubled or afraid. And yeah, that's special to have that sort of effect on me. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it had that effect on anyone else. But real quick before we move to the next chapter,
can I say something real quick? So
yeah.
I liked Falkor. Again, first time seeing this, was kind of thrown off by how he looked. I'm like, okay, so like you're saying, it kind of is a little bit dog-like. I know a couple of panel members have said. The itching behind the ear and his eyes going down with his voice was just kind of was extremely unsettling.
Jackson liked that part.
Why'd you bring that up?
It's part of the movie.
This was an innocent time. People weren't weird.
Well, like that, and then the kids' clothes are just like hanging on. It's weird to me. I'm just like I'm used to like the '90s kids television and shows, and kids were covered up more than this. That weird part with Falkor, and then I liked Falkor. I thought he was interesting after that part, but he doesn't seem fazed by what's going on. He's like, "We have to hurry, Falkor." And again, I don't know what the ticking clock is, how much time we have, and he's like, "Oh, we have plenty of time." And I was like thrown off. There's so many curveballs.
Is sort of I feel like he's a celestial being, himself. He survived all of the nothingness, right? I mean, him and the kid here, Atreyu, and the Empress, they're the only ones that survive in the end. And there's probably some supernatural component to him, right? Somehow he's able to evade all that. So I don't know. I think he has, he sees the grand scheme to some degree. I could see that. But, it's funny kind of theorizing about this character here. It's almost kind of ridiculous. I mean, you look at it, we're going deep into theories about him. But, he's an iconic character. I mean, he makes the movie, right? And there's quite a few characters that are just, they have to be in here, and he is one of them. Yeah. I think like something that also makes me really love him is, he's just, like, I feel like this movie is so authentic. I think it just creates there's just so many layers of quality storytelling that immerses you, right? And I think with his character, when I see him and I see what he's able to do and the way he flies and his demeanor and his impact he has on his surroundings and, his relationship with Atreyu, it just makes me feel like he is truly a magical character, and that it's convincing, despite it being literally a giant, puppet character, obviously just a set piece, right? What do you guys think is special that makes him feel that way, that makes him genuinely magical, if that's the way you see him?
Besides him being hideous, like I feel like
gosh.
Somebody else, guy. I just want to rage bait him. Sorry. All right. That's all I had.
Hideous.
Well, he's like this wise sage and giving advice, and he just knows, and I don't know. He's like he's the guide for Atreyu along this journey.
I think saying that he was like Gandalf is a pretty good comparison.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got the wisdom.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's a big compliment. I mean, if you're able to sort of make a character feel like that. I mean, that's saying something. Gandalf's my favorite Lord of the Rings character, without a doubt. I love him the most. And you don't think twice about Gandalf and his abilities and his purpose in the story, right? I mean, it's clear as crystal right in your face, and you just want more of him. And I felt the same way here about this character. I also felt like, gosh, I am such a simp for this movie. I love this movie so much.
You don't say.
It's just
We
one of those
can tell.
happy things. It's so nice. It's positive. I think like I absolutely love the theme. His theme is incredible. The flying theme and the joy he brings, and the fact that I feel like the theme, the music throughout the whole movie, we have all these incredible visuals. You have really intriguing storytelling. You have inspiring, heartwarming characters with deep connections with each other, facing an amassing hell that they somehow successfully fix and get past despite the obstacles. And you have this theme that plays in the background that just plays this beautiful melody that creates all of this, and it just all adds up, and it's just like the whole world around, everything is made and built, and it just feels complete. And I feel like his song, it's just like, it's the perfect blend. And it's like, I feel like his song is sort of like the main theme from the story. I feel like if you hear his song, you think of the movie. And that's sort of, it both inspires you, it makes you want to be a better person, it makes you want to be to be optimistic and to think and imagine and to be creative, but at the same time it also makes you sad and reflect and think back to old times where things are different than the way they are now. That's what that song says for me. And I feel like I think the movie, it builds that expectation and that consideration for us as an audience, because these themes play during really high and low moments, right? I mean, this movie is just full of highs and lows emotionally, like really striking emotional moments where, it's a really happy scene, or it's a subtly happy scene, or it's an absolutely tragic moment where we need to be sad and we are sad. And you see the effects it has on the poor children involved here. And the music just plays that note so perfectly. So I'm going to stop running my mouth. Let's get to the chat. I'm going off.
No, that's good. I'm really glad you enjoyed this.
Ambassador for this movie.
Yes. Oh, let's see here. Okay, this sounds interesting. Everybody's talking about the lack of CGI and what CGI is doing. Let's talk about that real quick. Thank you all for chatting with us in the chat. We appreciate you. Rebel Rose here. Because the skill set has faded to a point, practical effects studios have also started to focus on CGI in some cases. But practical is also expensive, allegedly.
Yep.
Allegedly,
Also,
because
time-
CGI is
it's
also
also
pretty expensive too.
Time consuming too.
Yeah.
Look how long it would take to put, one of the makeups on. It would take, hours.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Yeah, I kind of wonder. I mean, I always hear that CGI is super expensive, and it's like, can't you just make the sets? At least make the sets, right? I feel like that should be the standard. I don't like all of these, the green screens and such.
Yeah.
You made a great point, Sin. When I think about Project Hail Mary, when I think of practical, I just think of Rocky. But you're right; it's the whole set, right?
Yep.
I mean, wasn't the whole thing practical?
Yep. Yeah. They built the thing he's in and everything. They might have done, some CGI for very sparingly, but like to know that it wasn't filmed, leaning on a lot of the things that films lean on today with green screen effects. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope that they get back to that more and more.
Well, they should. The amount of money that movie made.
Right, but you know what? That movie still hasn't broken even yet.
Right? Yeah, it's a
Because
shame.
it was expensive. It was almost 200 million to make it. So multiply that by about 3. I don't think it's there yet.
What's crazy about it being so expensive is that there's not like a lot of actors involved either, right? I mean, it's really Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, and him, but I think it was just also the work that was involved.
Effects, yeah.
And yeah, all of that.
Yeah, that's not very encouraging.
No.
Product File here says, sadly, a lot of movies use CGI because it lets
That's
them
true.
change things in post if the first screening doesn't test well. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a good point, Product File. Ian Morrison says, I'm pretty sure Kyle doesn't like Rocky being
No, he does not.
Nice. We won't have to talk about him too much, Kyle. Don't get triggered. Looks like Boica. He says Dark Crystal is another puppet-based movie that is phenomenal.
And Labyrinth as well.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna put Labyrinth on the list.
You haven't seen that?
Oh man, that movie's so good.
Isn't the young girl from Pan's Labyrinth in this Labyrinth as well? It's a different actress.
No,
That's
my
Jennifer
child.
Connelly.
They're two completely
Yeah.
different people.
It looked okay. I saw one picture. It kind of looked like her. Maybe I literally saw a picture. From
I
Pan's
mean,
Labyrinth.
I can see why you might think that, but no, they're two very different people. I was so
Okay.
obsessed with that movie. I wanted to be Sarah. I even filmed myself acting out parts of that movie and
Aw.
spliced it in with the actual film.
That is awesome.
I never
That is
finished
so
it, but
cute.
it was a lot of work, and it's floating around here somewhere on one of my VHS tapes. But
We'll have to have you on for that one, and then you can
oh,
show us.
absolutely,
Yeah,
I love
release it
that
on
one. You
YouTube.
should have had me on for Terminator, dude.
Well, that was a long time ago.
I'm still holding it against you. Everybody should
we
know how much I love that movie. No, I'm teasing. I'm totally teasing. No, I will never put it on YouTube. Never, Megan. It will never
Shame,
see
it's a
the light of day.
shame.
You will not see me in that wedding dress with my hair all gussied up. No,
Oh, come on.
it's not gonna happen. But
That's
it's
too sensitive. Rebel Rose, compare the chimp in Primate to the one in Fall of the House of Usher. Has anyone seen that?
Oh, yeah.
I have.
Yeah,
I
me
have.
too.
Yeah,
It wasn't. There's no weight to that chimp at all. Nothing.
yeah. That one was
Listen.
CGI, and you could
Is that the
tell.
one with Mark Hamill?
Yes, he plays an
Mhm.
attorney. Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Boca says Gollum was better for having Andy Serkis doing the mocap and voice on set.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
right. I have no confidence in his directing abilities. We're screwed. He directed Venom: Let There Be Carnage,
Oh,
like
yeah,
one of the
that's-
worst superhero films
Wait,
of
did
all
he
time.
direct that one? Or
Yes.
the third one?
It
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
his fault that it was a terrible script.
Yeah, it was
all right?
so bad. It
Mhm,
was so
yeah.
bad.
You don't blame him
Yeah.
for that.
No, I don't.
Okay.
You gotta have good writing to
The
true.
writing
make the
is
movie.
the foundation.
Yes, and if
Yeah.
the writing sucks, everything else is gonna suck.
Nice. Let's see. Boica. Yep, I'm old. I was 10 when the movie was released. Yes, a couple years younger than the actor, but didn't buy his performance on the film release. Boica. Boica, he tells it straight. No BSing with Boica. There's
I mean,
no
honestly,
BSing with Boica.
I honestly don't think the kids were great actors. It didn't really take me out of the movie too much. I'm very impressed with everything that went into making this, and what that kid went through, what Atreyu, the character of Atreyu, went through. Yeah, it's pretty dramatic. Yeah, kind of. Yes.
LJ
Yes.
Films and Gaming. Atreyu does look like Tom Cruise in Legend, and both heroes resemble
Little
from
bit.
Legend Zelda.
Definitely.
Interesting. Oh, look at this. See, Boica gets it. Anna Chlumsky, who plays the Empress, I believe, gave a believable and moving
No.
performance as a child actor in My Girl, 1991.
She doesn't play the
There aren't
Empress.
many
No.
child actors that can do that. Atreyu couldn't. No, you're wrong. Atreyu could. He did a great job. He was awesome.
It was okay, but that's
Moving
not Anna.
performance. Really brought me to
It's
tears, Boica. Do you
He was
understand?
mid.
some Iranian little girl played. I think she was born in Iran. She played that. She played the princess.
Interesting. I haven't seen My Girl before.
Oh, well,
Oh,
that's
look
depressing.
at this. You see this? Proctophile understands. He gets it, guys. He gets it. Everything about Falkor's design looks soft, gentle, and majestic, with a few bizarrely unfamiliar qualities. It makes him seem approachable. See? Like an elder, like a stuffed animal, like your pet.
That's what it's you and your stuffies, man.
I know. I'm not a big stuffed animal guy, but that's just what it made me think. Oh gosh. All right, let's get on to the next chapter here. We got some interesting. Oh yes, this is fun. We get introduced to some more fun characters. I was very curious. Let me pull up the poster here. You have the poster. I love this poster, by the way.
Mhm.
Really interesting. It just grabbed me immediately. And you see the strange old man in the bottom right. I was really curious to see what he was. And it's funny. I don't think it was very clear in the movie, but he is a gnome. They're both gnomes, which they don't look anything like gnomes, but that's what they're called in the book. They are gnomes. And this after Falkor rescues Atreyu, he wakes up in this very strange space where it's, a small plot of land is the image we were looking at. I'll pull it up again right here. Very, very comforting space where they're kind of alone in this safe environment away from the nothing. It's sort of its own solace. Very, very nice area. And I'll pull him up again. Thankfully, Atreyu, he was pretty wounded from his previous encounters in the swamp, and he is healed of his wounds, and he happily embraces the sweet dragon that saved him. And the two, they share a very heartwarming dialogue, and Atreyu meets two of the tiny gnome scientists who are definitely full of a lot of character. The names are Engiwook and Urgle, and they show the young warrior the path forward through their vibrant observatory. And it's very strange quest he has to go on from here. He must pass through the gates guarded by two Sphinx statues who sit and wait for people to pass who doubt their own worth. And once Atreyu learned that this is what he had to do, he ran towards the gates without hesitation, which is pretty surprising because he sees a very scarring image of a noble knight passing through and dying instantly because he doubted himself. And passing through, he barely trudges through the gates before getting zapped. He could have been zapped, but he somehow evades it. And he heads through this wild blizzard. It comes out of nowhere. Now he's in some snowy biome. And along this trek, he comes across a magical mirror showing young Bastian reading on the other side. Kind of a little bit of a fourth wall breaking. And, throughout the story, we see, we get little glimpses of Bastian reading the story and reacting to it. Which, of course, you kind of forget that this is like what's happening. This is like fantasy that he's reading. But, we will soon learn the importance of Bastian in this story. I thought the gnomes were a really great addition to guide Atreyu's journey. What do you guys think makes them special in the grand scheme of things?
They're crazy personalities.
Yeah.
For me.
I love how he kept calling her a wench too. It was hilarious.
So it was a wench or a witch? Was it a
No, a wench. Kind of like
Wench.
like
a hag?
Girl.
Yeah,
Woman.
Oh.
like
Yeah.
European people say that.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Hag.
But yeah, that was funny. I don't know. I just like the way they look too. They're creepy.
I think of Harry Potter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be the odd one out. I didn't like these characters.
Shocker.
It was I know, right? World War Joe for sure. It came out of nowhere. But yeah, it was a plot device to keep it moving. And then I was confused as to Atreyu made it through because he had the medallion, but then he looks back for a split second and almost gets zapped. I was a little bit confused as to the reason why. I thought the medallion kind of gave him some power to make it through. But yeah, I don't know. It was, I'm trying to put into words. It kind of felt as though, I'm trying to think of that board game where you can pick your own character and you go on different quests. It's not
Monopoly?
No. I'm gonna think about it later. But it felt like that, where I'm watching just a person play a game, and then it's like one quest to the next quest to the next quest, and I wasn't invested.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. Sounds familiar.
Dungeons and Dragons?
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh,
Maybe.
Thanks,
I
Joe.
was wondering about that, but I don't know enough about it to know if that's the one.
Only I didn't get to design my own character, and I was watching somebody else play.
You're watching Kyle play.
He would be more interesting,
3 a.m.
though.
And he wanted to be
Me
an
playing.
elf goddess. Oh.
Oh, God.
Nice.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, something I liked about these guys is, especially like the old guy, like whatever this girl's name is, Urgle. She doesn't play much of a role here. I mean, neither of them really do. It's a short amount of time we spent with them. I think they're just cool. They look great, and such great designs. I thought it was really clever the way they scaled them too. You know, they are a lot smaller than Atreyu, and Atreyu is a little boy. I love seeing the scale, and I thought that was very well done. You know, these guys are also, you know, so much is against Atreyu, this, you know, inspiring young man, and these two characters were another helpful hand along the way, right? And that's just encouraging. You know, it's like, I don't know how you couldn't admire characters that try to help a child, right? And it's like, it just seems like the world is pushing against Atreyu this whole time, and finally he runs into the right people that help him along the way. And how could you not feel for them, right? And I think that's sort of like the secret charm that a lot of these heroes play in this story, is that they, you know, there's like an instinct or an admiration we all have for people that take care of kids and respect children and help them, like teachers, right? So same kind of situation here with these two. I thought it was also interesting how, you know, Engiwook, the little old man thing here, he admired Atreyu. It was kind of funny. It's like he knew about him and that he was excited to meet him. I thought that was kind of interesting, that he was eager to meet him. I didn't even really know why, but he was very excited. And you know, they also like introduced the scientific angle to this whole fantastical world, that there is a science involved, and that it was deeper than just being a whimsical environment. There is like law and order to all of this madness that happens. And, you know, you see that he's wise. He's another one of those wise characters that shows forth the way. And he shows that Atreyu needs to go over to the strange Sphinx statues with nipples to pass through to make it to the next level. So yeah, very, very interesting characters. I gotta say, like, I called my girl and I told her about the movie, and she I was telling her about this. I wish I had a picture. There's not like a picture of this space, but this island, this like floating island, whatever you want to call it, that Falkor and the gnomes are at, it is the coziest setting I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so crazy. I can't believe I'm saying all of these like really strong words about this movie.
Seriously,
it's insane
love this
because I've never.
movie.
Yes, I'm obsessed. It's insane. It's insanity. It is literally insanity.
It's
And-
funny.
Yeah, it is funny. I feel ridiculous, but to me, like,
Don't
this
feel
little-
ridiculous. I love your
No, I'm
passion
in.
and the
I'm
heart
in,
you
man.
have for
I'm in.
this.
But like, to me, this was like the coziest place I've ever been. And I don't know if you guys felt that way at all. Did you guys see it that way? Did you feel that this was like a special place? And if so, what do you think was the reason for it being this place of comfort and solace?
Not this place, but the place where they lived.
Mhm.
The gnomes lived. That was cozy
Mm.
to me. This is a
Mm.
little creepy because it's out like floating in the space or celestial area or whatever. It's kind of creepy. Like, what if you fall? I don't know, but this little place was cute.
Well, this is like Shrek's hut. I mean, it's not. I mean, it was
Yeah.
all right.
I don't know,
It
just
was-
it looked lived in and cozy. And I guess as far you mentioned something about you weren't sure like why he seemed so excited to see Atreyu.
Oh, yeah, well, I was kinda wondering, yeah, I mean, he was like-
I feel like it's because he knows the mission that Atreyu's on. Feels like maybe word has traveled that there's this warrior trying to find out how to stop the nothing, and so he's excited about that because, you know, he depends on the nothing being defeated as well, because they'll go if the nothing isn't.
True. That's fair. Does anyone else think this place is super cozy, or am I tripping balls?
I thought it was pretty, like, you know, discomforting.
What'd you say?
I was pretty much saying the opposite of what you said.
You're the worst. You guys are the worst. I don't have very good questions for this. Nobody gets it. I thought maybe more people would be on board. I've only heard good things. I've heard negativity from anyone in all the conversations I've had about this
Jackson.
movie.
Jackson, I'm happy you're happy.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're
I want
happy.
you to be
Same.
happy. I want us all to be happy.
I mean, they're
Are we
beautiful
happy?
sets.
Are we happy? Is everybody happy?
I think I have to
I'm not
rewatch it again.
unhappy. I'm not
Oh,
unhappy. I'm just not
okay.
as in love with this. I'm not as
Oh.
enamored with it as you are.
Oh,
Mm,
okay.
yeah.
We'll all watch it. We'll watch it again. We'll watch it again.
Yeah, take 2.
Let's do a live
Megan's
stream
like,
of it.
no, I'm out. I'm
No.
out.
I would rather watch Oh Hi a million
Oh
times.
my gosh! No, I'd rather watch this 1,000 times over Ohio.
We can
Ohio
arrange
pissed
that.
me off.
Gosh.
You don't say.
So I don't have a picture of the Sphinxes. I wish I would have gotten one.
Dang
Oh,
it.
you
I-
don't.
Dang it.
I
You guys
have
would've
one I
liked-
can send to
Megan
you.
would have liked that. Okay, if you want to, can you put in the private chat? Are you able to attach pictures there? I don't
Where'd you
think
get your
so.
pictures from, Jack?
I
On
just get
Google.
them online.
Oh.
You didn't get them from IMDb or something? I wonder if they have them. on
Oh, I think
IMDb.
they are. You know, you can only have 10 pictures here, so I always
Ah,
I have to kind of choose them wisely.
yeah.
So yeah, just picture Sphinx statues with nipples. There's 2 of them, and it's you know, they're looking directly at each other. Their eyes are closed, but their eyes will open
Mhm.
when you know, somebody passes through that is who doubts their own worth. It's a very strange situation, and you know, Atreyu barely makes it through. What do you guys think? How do you guys think the film created such a striking threat in these Sphinx statues?
Well, you see what they do to the other guy.
Yeah.
And they're
And their
slowly
size.
opening their eyes with their, you know, their lids with the laser eyes getting ready to
Yeah.
come out.
Mhm.
It's intimidating.
Kinda
I don't
spooky.
know why Atreyu didn't. I don't know why he lost confidence. I mean, if he made it through the
Hmm.
swamp of sadness, I don't know. I don't
Well,
get that.
Do you remember the little old man as soon as he like passes through those and he's talking about the next one that he has to come to? It's like it's almost like they're both veils that you have to get through in order to finally reach the
Mm.
outcome, in the sense of like he's gonna doubt his confidence, and then remember when the old man's like, you know, even like the kindest people see themselves
Right,
as
right. Brave
cruel
people
and-
see themselves as weak. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
stuff
he
like
kind of
that.
set the stage for the doubt and fear.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, it was like those two are both like, it's like your final form, and that's what most people's like. They gotta like get through the confidence part of
Mm.
going through. But I mean, that was just my takeaway from it. I don't know, but
Mm.
the Sphinx is being that tall, and you're like a small
Yeah,
child.
they were
too.
huge.
Yeah.
That
They
would
were
scare
huge,
me.
and
I'd be
you
like,
just
oh my god.
kid.
Well, he's definitely scared straight, seeing, you know, the noble knight, you know,
Oh,
ride
yeah.
through there and get zapped. And you saw, I mean, it wasn't like the noble knight just died. I mean, he became a skeleton inside his armor.
It's all burned up and everything. Yeah.
Gosh, you know, I thought like that was another one of those striking scenes where it's like it's kind of funny. We don't have any, like, I kind of compare that to, it's not nearly as tragic as Atrax's death. You know, that one's way more graphic, but you know, it's kind of similar in a way, because this knight in shining armor, there's no reason to believe he's evil or he's bad. You know, even though he's dressed in, you know, decadence, right, and beautiful armor, and you know, he's riding a nice horse. He kind of has this like mystical, like almost like an innocence to him, like this mystical innocence. This well, we feel that way because we don't know if he's evil or not, and for him to just die on the spot like that, he's really an innocent victim here, and there's no reason for him to die. We haven't seen him do anything wrong. We don't know about anything he's done that's wrong, and he just dies on the spot. And it's kind of a sad moment. You see him, you know, walking up to the Sphinxes, and you see a lot of people have died the same way. And for me, that just really struck me, and I was kind of surprised that it kind of had a strong, like almost an emotional impact on me, because, you know, we don't know anything about this character, but just like the horse, you know, there's no reason to believe that there's anything wrong with this guy. He's just wearing armor. He could have just been anybody else, and he just died on the spot like that. And I think the fact that we don't see a face adds to it too. You know what I mean? He's almost like a mystical creature, just like everything else, because we don't really see that many people in this story either. And you know, it's the knight in shining armor, right? I mean, that's supposed to represent a hero, you know, and you just watch a hero die on the spot like that. You know, this kid, he probably looked up to characters like that in his life, and there you go. He just dies on the
As a
spot.
fellow
How am I
warrior.
worthy? Yeah.
And he sees a fellow warrior being decimated like that.
Yeah, pretty tragic. So once we get through the blizzard,
Jackson, I got the nipples up if you want
Oh, you
to
did?
share
Oh,
it
let
to
me
the
see.
screen. Just
Let's see how you
check
did
out my
this.
picture.
Wait,
I posted
where
it.
did you send it?
I posted it. You should see it somewhere.
Oh, that's cool. Wow.
Down in your gallery. There,
Oh!
there you go.
Wow. Those are some
Whoa.
real hooters.
Uh,
We're gonna get flagged for that one.
Worth it.
Worth it. World War Joe's is worth it. He wants you to send that to
Nice.
him. Can you send it to him?
Send
Nice.
it to
There-
who? What?
To World War Joe.
Oh, I
Oh,
already
how
have it
do
on my
I?
phone. Don't worry.
Oh, I
He
can
already
put
has
you.
it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
my
I was
background on my phone
gonna
right
say
now.
I can send a link. I
He
got
doesn't
it
really
from
want it. I'm just
IMDb.
kidding. No,
It's
it'd be a
there.
little weird if you wanted that. Gosh, yeah, the Sphinxes. Those were something else, And it's funny, it's like it's all like so random. Like Sphinxes, what are they doing here, right? I mean, that doesn't really make sense in this fantasy world. But it kind of fit because I don't know why it fit, but it
Well,
did.
and
It didn't seem totally out of
mythology and
place.
fantasy and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of confused. They felt a little out of place to me
Oh, yeah,
because everything else felt more medieval. I was like, oh, we have Egyptian stuff. What's going on here?
I mean, it is
Well-
literally out of place. Like it doesn't. It shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
If you go biblical route when it comes to the storyline, it's not too much out of place because it's not Egyptian, so to speak. Because a lot of fantasy is always rooted in biblical stuff. So because it would be more like a, what are they called, like cherubs instead of sphinx, even though to most of our eyes they look like sphinx, you know what I mean? They do. But it was just like, oh, because I thought that was weird too. It was like, where did this come from? So, but I was thinking, well, maybe it was kind of a biblical reference because of the veils that he has to go through. So I don't know. Maybe that was the reason for it. I don't know.
I feel like that. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I feel like there's like a spiritual component to this movie. I can't put my finger on what it is though. I feel like it's there, like deep in here. It's there.
Of course,
And-
there has to be.
I just don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe we'll talk about that later towards the end of the stream, but I feel like something's there. And if anybody in the chat has an idea, let us know. So once he gets through the Sphinxes here, he passes through this blizzard, and he's in the snowy biome, and he comes across the magical mirror. And it was it was a little confusing because he gets to the mirror and he sees Bastian on the other side, which is the main character who's on Earth. He's actually in reality and he's reading the story, and Atreyu sees him. And I believe that the mirror is supposed to be like a reflection of your true self. So what do you guys think the magical mirror is exactly supposed to represent? And what is this scene trying to show us?
I don't
Pull up
know.
a picture of him.
That's a good question.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
trying to see because he has to like face himself basically completely, and then he sees him type deal. So it's like I almost feel like he's trying to see himself within Atreyu. You know what I mean? And then them kind of
Yeah.
like coming as the final form.
Bastian's taken the journey with him too by
Yeah.
reading the book.
That's kind of what I took from it, but I could be way off base. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well-
like where, everything's being orchestrated by Bastian. So yeah,
Mhm.
he finally gets to kind of see his maker, quote unquote, in a way.
Yeah.
I think
In the
that's
book-
it.
In the book, it's in this article that I linked in the private chat, but in the book it talks about how both of these boys go through the transition of feeling like the quest before them is bigger than they can grasp. So maybe in that way they are kind of reflections of each other.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be a mix of that, right? That's like he's looking in the mirror and he sees his true self, and his true self is Bastian, and he's like, that's, like Atreyu is kind of created by his mind, maybe reading the pages. I don't know.
And I think maybe he finds some courage within Atreyu too. So he faces the bullies or whatever else comes in his life, and him losing his mom. So it's kind of like Atreyu is like the hero that he needs.
Or wants to be.
Or yeah, he
Admires.
there you go. I was like, what is the word? Kind of like that. Yeah.
A level of admiration. Yeah, that's fair. One more question before we move on to the chat and to the next chapter. Let's see, I think I have 3 chapters left. It's about to get pretty crazy here. So this is like just a general question. So I'm kind of wondering, when I was watching this, I felt that this movie expertly played off our emotions. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when it was trying to, it's very dramatic. I mean, this is a very dramatic film, and it takes itself very seriously. You know, even though there's like optimism spread across its duration, and you know, there's jokes here and there. I feel like it always, you know, it's got so many highs and lows of dramatic fashion, showing really, you know, expressive joy and sadness, and I feel like it just worked really well. Did you guys feel like this film did a good job portraying joy and sadness when it was applied? And if so, how do you think it was able to get away with doing it to the degree of quality it did?
I do feel like it did a good job at pulling off both of those, you know, contrasting emotions. As far as how it could do it as well as it did, I don't know. Don't know if I can explain.
I mean, I think it does touch on a bunch of heavy topics, you know, depression, loss, and then courage. So they're interesting topics to really bounce around and kind of make it more palatable for kids. But yeah, I don't feel like it worked that well for me, but I don't think I was the target demographic. Thank you, demographic. Yeah,
That's fair
for this one.
I think you're right. I feel like you know, it's dealing with serious topics, you know, and I feel like you're able to. I respect it for doing that, and it didn't do it in a preachy way at all. You know, it's like depression, sadness, you know, feeling awry, finding your identity. Like nowadays, of course, you know, it's rare to find those as encouraging or you know, inspiring, you know, plot points. But here, it feels really convincing and real to me. Maybe not to you, but
it's a nice 80s movies, and they got away with stuff like that, and they were able to go with you know, some heavy themes when they needed to, a little lighthearted humor, and even take depression and death with a little bit of humor to it in a way.
Yeah. You know what I like too is that, okay, so with the whole depression thing, you see him basically, well, and anyone in this movie, you don't see them give in, and you don't see them like talking about their feelings. They just continue on with life and trying to figure it out. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like that's a more realistic take on, because I mean, you see them in the depression, of course, and you see them what causes it and everything, but like you see them still not giving up and just going. It's just I don't know. I'm very
that's a great point.
Yeah, I'm very much somebody who's like, you don't need to talk about your feelings all the time. Just keep going. Just please.
Because sometimes the more you bog yourself down in that, like the swamp of sadness,
yes,
you're going to give in to it.
Exactly. Unfortunately,
focus of your whole being, your whole identity.
Yeah, and it becomes more of a problem too.
Yeah.
The more you talk about it.
Victim mentality is so toxic.
Yes.
And destructive. I can go on about that one.
So that, I mean, I think that's what I like about 80s movies. Like when they touch on topics like this, they don't shy away from it and they show you it, but you just keep going. They show them not giving up. They show them going through all the struggles and everything. And I'm just kind of like, well, you need to put that in movies nowadays instead of let's sit down and talk all the time.
Wow. That's a great point, Ashley. Wow. That's really good. That's the hidden ingredient, right? I mean, I feel like it doesn't try. Yeah, there's no reflection. Like he just keeps moving forward, and it works. You know, it's like it makes those scenes, like the impact. It hits and it sticks. Like you remember, as an audience member, you remember what this poor boy's been through and what's happened, especially by the end of the movie when everything has gone to dust, and you think back to all of the incredible characters you met along the way and how you know, and you sort of reflect as an audience member on how tragic it is, but they didn't like go into it and they didn't spend an hour, you know, grieving over it. You know, they just kept moving forward, and that's incredible. We could learn so much from that.
Well,
I really
and
wish
then
we had more of that.
when you have that one scene when he's in with the thing at the end, you know, the wolf or whatever.
Yeah.
You do kind of get reflection in the sense of him looking at how far he's come. Do you know what I mean? You know, when they show the little paintings and murals on the wall. So I'm like, see, that's how you kind of have to do reflection, to me at least, because it's like it's showing you went through all of this and you ended up here, but you didn't give up and you're still doing it. You're still going, basically. So it's like that's kind of a better message than most things. If that's one thing you take away from the movie.
Come on, you can't deny that. There's no
away.
denying that. That's as straight as it gets. That's great, Ashley. I also think like a lot of the emotion in this film is so raw too. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it's hyperbole. I think, you know, you see raw joy, you see raw sadness, you see raw fear. And I think those are like kind of admirable qualities when you can experience a raw emotion like that. When I think of raw emotion, you know what comes to mind? A film I don't like that Proctfall likes is Hamnet. That movie was way too raw. Way too raw for my comfort.
I haven't seen that.
Love that movie.
I'll never see that actress in anything else ever again. Buckley, no way. That was too much, Ashley. Too much.
That's
too much raw emotion for anybody.
Hey, if you want a good cry, just put it on. I'm telling you.
I wanted to cry so bad. I really want to cry. I want to cry watching movies. That's why I asked if people cried. Did anybody cry watching this? Anybody?
No.
No, not this one.
Megan?
Nope.
Jackson was.
I didn't cry, but it choked me up quite a few times. Yeah. All right, no criers, no crybabies here. Let's see. I want to get to the chat now, real quick. Thank you all for chatting. It's good to see you in the chat, Boca. Kyle, I bet you want a picture of the Sphinx Gateway Brawler. Nice. Yeah. Man,
Can I commission a painting from you of that?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Time and money well spent. Of all things you can draw, I think I'm going to draw this. I think I'm going to draw not the Sphinx.
The Sphinx? Oh, come on.
In this film. I think I'm going to draw either.
How many likes for the video to get you to draw the Sphinx?
1,000 likes. If we get 1,000 likes and 100 new subs because of this stream, all right, I'll draw the Sphinx. There you go.
Yeah, we got to make
do
this
it,
happen.
people. Do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Proctfall says Brawler's gonna design his bedroom after that place. That's right. After, not the Sphinx. I think he's talking about the dream place. I'm so crazy that I literally sat down and I thought about this place and I put myself in this environment. That's how crazy I am about this. I haven't done that in a long time. This movie, it just inspires you to imagine, right? It inspires you to create and to think big and to pursue your wildest fantasies that are like not weird. So
yeah.
Why did you have to say that?
Yeah.
Somebody would assume I'm talking about other things. I'm talking about innocent, creative fantasies.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of Fantasia. It's about your dreams, your aspirations, your hope, your creativity.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Boaca's here again. They didn't talk down to the boy. Nowadays, they treat him like a victim of some sort and turn him over to CPS. Yeah, true. All while wearing a breathing mask, anti-ice shirts, and Birkenstocks.
Birkenstocks.
Nice. Boaca, are you wearing Birkenstocks? Let us know. Next painting in his portfolio. I'm not painting that. I'm not painting it. I got other things. I'll paint this. I'll probably end up painting something like this with him riding Falkor or him with the horse. That's probably what I'm gonna do. The couple moved into Dagobah after Yoda died. Yeah. Yeah, nice one. That's good. Ian says, makes sense. This is a European film. Only way they could have gotten away with the statues having nipples. Nice. That's good. That's funny. Great. Kyle, how would you feel if Procto and I commissioned a painting from you of the Sphinx Gateway? Jackson? No, I will not do that. I don't really do commissions. I don't like it. It takes so much time. I'm not interested. It's not worth the money. Let's see. Thanks for asking. I know you weren't serious. Unless you are, then I don't know. Maybe just print out the picture. Look at this. Boaca is spin facts here, people. Boaca says, see, ladies, you don't need a knight in shining armor. Just an old, bearded, tattooed guy that rides a steel horse named Harley. See, that's Boaca, ladies. If you're watching, Boaca is available. So that's his tag. That's his tag, everybody. Check him out. We love Boaca. He's great. Bastian sees the hero inside to step up to the bullies in his life, an inspiration to stand for himself and good in people. Yeah. I mean, that's the effect, right? I mean, he steps up to the plate to do that because of him. The themes of loss of a parent and the emotional ramifications that it has isn't dealt with velvet gloves. It is an expression of those feelings, learning how to healthily cope and live life. Yes, Boaca, yes. Oh, Project File says Hamnet was great. It made me cry for like 30 minutes straight. That's nice, Project File. You should make a video about that, Project File. I think you should make some YouTube videos. You always have good thoughts.
Agreed.
LJ Films and Gaming, still here. Good to see you, LJ. I cry at most movies drunk and sober. I love to watch a movie with whiskey and sob. Yes. Man, I love it. I want to cry. I want to cry watching something. That's a good sign. That's a good sign if it's able to bring about that kind of emotion, right? All right, let's move on.
Watch I Swear.
What is that?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I Swear is the true story of John Davidson, I think is his name, who has Tourette's syndrome.
Oh, I need to see that. That's on my list.
It's coming out in like last weekend in April. Highly recommend.
You saw that one?
Yeah, it was the Regal Mystery Movie Monday a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow, that was an advance.
Very good. Yeah, it was. I have a copy of it, but I held off on watching it because I wasn't ready for the. Yeah, I have to be in the right mood to want to cry. I don't want to cry in a movie.
Same.
But this one hits you.
Well, I don't know. I'm
not making fun of you. I'm just
no.
I don't like to.
I don't
it
ever
makes me
feel
sad.
Offended, so you don't have to worry
like
about me.
Say,
No, we're good. So you offended me, Sid. You offended me. You're never allowed on this stream ever again.
You're off the panel too.
You're done. This whole stream's done. It's over. That's good. All right, let's go on to the chapter 6 of the story, where we meet the Southern Oracle. Very interesting, and not what we expected along this journey. So Atreyu, after going through that mirror where he saw himself in a Bastian, he finally reaches the Southern Oracle, who speaks through 2 highlighted blue sphinxes. And the Oracle delivers the quest's crucial secret to save Fantasia. Finally, there is a being, there's a force that knows how to fix Fantasia from the nothing. The revelation is that only a human child from the outside world can save the Empress by giving her a name, which is a strange way to save the world. I think we'll get to that a little later. So, Atreyu is very confused and baffled by that. Like, he was not expecting to hear that as the solution. That's not very promising. That sounds like a distant objective that really doesn't seem obtainable. But nevertheless, he is sent with Falkor to the farthest reaches of Fantasia to find him as the world falls apart. So, why do you think this was the solution to save the Empress? Is it supposed to ensure confidence in Bastian's belief in his fantasies? Why is it that giving the Empress a name would save Fantasia?
I think it might just be a closure for Bastian and his grieving loss of his mom, perhaps.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, maybe give it some acknowledgement that she's actually gone. Because it kind of seemed like he didn't talk about it. You know what I mean? At the beginning with his dad. Yeah. So I could see
That's
that.
a good point. He doesn't really seem that bothered by it, but I guess he's just not. Maybe it hasn't hit him yet.
What, by his mom being dead?
Yeah.
He's
It seems
internalizing
like
it.
in the beginning, because his father addresses it with him, like, I know you're sad because mom's gone, but we got to move on, that sort of thing.
In the beginning of the second one, he showed a lot more emotion about his mom.
Is it the same kid?
No, it's not the same kid, but it's
No.
it's supposed to be the same kid, just
Different
actor.
actor.
Same
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Yep.
Luke, so you don't think the second one's worth watching, or you like the second one?
I think the second one's worth watching. I'm not going to say it's nearly as good as the first one, but it's good. I mean, I enjoyed it when I was
Okay. Huh. So, gosh, you know what? Some of these, it's funny. I look at these questions I have, and I felt like I really thought a lot of us were going to agree on this, which makes it interesting because I wrote them in a way that suggests that we all really
agree.
liked it. It's funny, but that's fine. Say it how you want to say it. It doesn't matter. So, like, I'm wondering, like, Atreyu, I thought he gave us a great performance, and I thought I was inspired by it. I thought for a 12-year-old, I was particularly impressed. What kind of credit can you give him for his performance? And if you really thought it was bad, tell us why you thought so.
What he went through filming this makes me appreciate his performance more. This kid, before they even started filming, he had to train to ride horses, and one day the horse got spooked and he flipped and the horse fell on him, broke his back. He ended up in the hospital for 2 months. They couldn't film until after he got out. He got out, and it took him almost a year to film this movie. That's a long ass time. And he had to do his own stunts because that's what the director believed in. So he did his own stunts, and he was knocked unconscious multiple times. The scene in the swamp, he kept, it was really cold, and they were using like dry ice to make the fog and whatever. And he kept getting the mud like all in his mouth, and he would pass out. And yeah, it was like the stuff this kid went through was just mind blowing to me. And it does make me appreciate his performance, even if I don't think his acting is on up there, but yeah, that's just crazy to me what he went through.
Wow, that shows you how different the times were.
Oh, that's what he was saying, He's like, that would not fly today. I mean, it's amazing his father didn't like sue the director or something.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. That's incredible. I had no idea.
Yeah, it was. I was looking it up last night, and I was like, "Holy cow!" So I copied. Oh, and they would do like 30 to 40 takes of stuff, a lot of which involved falling from a tree. And he said everything hurt. And that battle with Gamork, they threw that thing at him, and that thing was like a few hundred pounds. Man. And it knocked him unconscious. Because they just like threw it at him.
That's not normal to be knocked unconscious.
No, I'm telling you. It's like, what
like, that is a traumatic affair.
Think about that next time you watch this
I've
film.
never been knocked unconscious in my life.
I haven't either, but this poor kid, it's amazing he's still alive.
What about the time I knocked you out?
Yeah, you wish.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts about him?
That's kind of it's very disturbing. Very disturbing thought. That's pretty dark.
Yeah, it makes the film seem even darker to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He gave like that cheesy 80s performance that I was expecting. So I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
Oh, she's not saying it in a bad way. She's just like,
no.
It's part of the 80s.
It is. I always expect that. I think the only one that isn't really cheesy is the Goonies when it comes to kids. I don't really think any of those kids were cheesy.
They weren't very cheesy.
Mm-mm.
No,
I don't think the kids in E.T. were too cheesy either. Not too.
Oh, you don't think Drew Barrymore wasn't? There was a few times where I was like,
not really. I felt like she was actually pretty good because she was so young and her reactions were so genuine. Like when she saw him and she screamed because that was literally the first time she saw him and he freaked her the hell out. So yeah.
I used to do that to my cousin with that movie all the time, so I get it.
Nice.
You're
a menace.
I was a little bit surprised that he didn't really jump after this movie to do a ton of other things that we would have, like mainstream. Did this movie do well in the box office when it came out?
I think so. I think it was pretty big.
Yeah, because he was pretty good in it. And you would think afterwards, especially at that time, like you'd be giving him something else after.
Just
Maybe after
compare
the
his
abuse.
performance to those terrible sisters in The Acolyte. Remember how awful they were?
I'd
Yes.
refuse to watch that. So
I was about to say, I
Like,
didn't watch it
just
either.
compare them. Which do you choose? Way better here. There has been, like, in recent time, there's been some great actors.
yeah, it was
as
a commercial
kids.
success. It
Oh,
made
good.
about
That's
100
good.
million against a budget of around 25 to 27 million.
Wow.
Nice.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, not adjusted for inflation.
Oh well.
Which, yeah, who knows how much that's worth? It is crazy to think like that 100 million back then is worth way more now, like
Yeah.
a substantial difference. It's
Yep.
weird, and it's not even that long ago.
And 25 to 27 million, quite a hefty
That's
amount to be paying for a movie back in the
Yeah.
early 80s, I think.
Hmm.
But it's probably because of all the production that went into, all the design and everything. And, how long he was in the hospital before they could even film. And it took him a year to film it practically. So, yeah.
So, like, since we're looking at a portrait of Atreyu here, what do you think? This is another question in positive light. I bet everybody agrees with this, though. What makes his character feel so real and encourageable? Come on, there's no way anybody here doesn't feel like this is an encourageable character that you can't help but to jump on the bandwagon to support. Come on.
Well, I mean, he's
Whoa.
he's a good guy, and he's trying to save his world.
Mhm.
What can you not
Exactly.
like about something like that?
And no matter what happens and what's thrown at him, he just keeps
He
going.
just keeps going.
Mm.
Yeah, he's plucky.
Yes.
I would like to see it explored a little bit more. Like, I still think that I would have liked to see just the world versus the real world reading a book. So I would have liked to see maybe his upbringing of how he got to this point.
Mm.
Yeah, we don't have
Yeah.
much backstory for him.
Hmm.
Very little backstory with him entirely.
Yeah.
That's one of Megan's severe critiques about the film.
It's severe. Extreme.
Severe.
Don't know anything about him. I don't know. I would say he's plucky, but he's also extremely lucky. And so I get that it's a child, but it's hard for me to root for a character that I don't, that like it, he's not, it doesn't seem like he's an active participant in what's going on. It's just happening to him every single time. I'm not seeing a lot of, besides emotion, I'm not seeing a lot of like wits that he's having to use in order to do something and get down to the bottom of something, or just
That's true.
something extra. Because yeah, I mean, yeah, he has his emotions under control, and yes, he has his courage, and yes, he continues to go forward, but there's not enough autonomy, because it just seems like he's always being saved. So, and he's really whiny. But
Whiny. Do you realize what he's going through?
yes,
The only
yes.
times he's whiny is when his horse gets swallowed by the mud and he's 12 years
I
old.
definitely didn't.
and
pick
at
up
the
on-
end, and at the
that.
end, but we'll get to that.
Oh,
He
when
was
he's
whining because
confronting
the world
princess.
was ending. You'd be whining. I'd be whining. I'd be
He
screaming.
doesn't
Both of
understand,
the boys
you know?
were whining though at the same time. Just shut up.
Oh,
Something happened.
What's happening? What is this world?
my
Like
goodness.
Fantasia, I'm losing hope in this world.
Aw.
Oh, so sad.
Poor
It's
Jackson.
okay. It's all right. Hopefully, Boak has something positive to say. We appreciate it. Boaka's back in heavy fashion here. $10. I appreciate it. Thanks, Boaka. Big, bright fashion. We appreciate it. In the gold text here, Noah Hathaway isn't Native American. He is European Jewish. I'm surprised the blue-haired land whales haven't destroyed him for portraying one. There are better child actors than he attempted to be.
So a point about that this was another thing I forgot to mention. His character was originally supposed to be like green, I think.
Wow.
Green or blue, and I think they had tried that a little bit in the beginning. And then they decided to just make him brown. So this is not his natural skin tone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they tanned him and everything.
Oh,
To make
it
him look
looks
more like
convincing. Like
So-
I wouldn't.
I
have
guess
guessed
kind
that.
of like Native American warrior type, maybe that was the look they were going
you were
for.
crazy. That's hilarious.
I really like the blue-haired land whales comment.
That was a good one.
'Cause you ain't
Nice
wrong.
one. Oh. Well, I
Yes.
guess this was, you're not wrong. They're not. They probably didn't think into it too much. It's not like obvious. Like I wouldn't
No.
have guessed that.
It's because of that last little bit that European and Jewish. They don't
Mm.
go after Jewish people like that, so that's the reason. I'm just
Well,
saying.
they
that's
are
the
more
reason.
nowadays, honestly.
Well, this
Feels
is
like-
true, Sin. This is true.
It's funny how this film has cracked into some real world stuff happening here. Interesting. That never happens in these streams. Let's see. That's funny, Boica. Thanks. Appreciate the $10. Yeah. I'm so glad he's not blue. That would be so lame if he was blue
Yeah,
or
I
green
agree.
or whatever. That I think I saw a picture of that. It's like that would have really ruined this.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
didn't see a picture. Wow.
Oh, it wasn't. I don't think it was real, but somebody like colored him in blue.
Oh, okay.
or
Maybe that's
green.
how he's supposed to really look in the book. I don't know.
For the second one, there's an actual Native American kid playing him.
Okay.
Nice.
I believe so.
Well,
That's
the
what I
book
remember.
can be whatever it wants, I guess.
Hey.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to say just a few things I noted about his character before we move on because they weren't said. You know what? His character, he isn't perfect. He needs help from elders along the way, like us all. He can't do it alone. As you mentioned, Ashley, he understands and sees the dangers that are lying ahead of him, but he doesn't stop. He continues forward. I mean, these are all really venerable qualities that most adults don't even have, to have that sort of determination and confidence to move forward despite the obstacles. And he's a child, for Pete's sakes. Another thing is that he's optimistic when there is no hope, right? I mean, the time constraint on him is so severe and the pressure just grows, especially after meeting the Southern Oracle here. I mean, the world is literally falling apart in front of him, and he has to be strong, and he stands up to the challenge no matter what. I mean, that's like inhuman, the way he was able to stand up to that pressure. Very impressive. And then he also has all these people that he meets along the way. He cares about them, and they matter to him, and he values them. And those are that's just another part of his character that you can't help but to love. And there's just so many positive things. And just seeing a young man exhibit all these qualities is really, really impressive, especially because, I always like mentioning it, young men, I can't even imagine what young men now, what they look up to, because, unfortunately, with all these new films coming out and, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever else, there's no inspiring young men characters anywhere. There's really no young men characters anywhere either. There's all these, it's the father-daughter situation every single time. It's never father-son. And really, there aren't any young men in the picture with a lot of these big stories. And this is it inspires me just watching this kid here. And I wish I would have grown up watching this to see how I should have acted, because I thought this character, it seems real. And it seems like this is a place you could be at any point in your life, even though it's really, kind of inhuman how far he's able to go with his, with how, how impressive he is as a person. Just quickly talking about Bastian, let's move to Bastian real quick before we move into the next chapter, which we are getting closer to the end here. Bastian, he plays more of a reactionary role to the events of the story, right? And he's now revealed to be the key to saving it. So how has his character helped to convey the gravity of the highs and lows of the story leading up to this point?
Oh, his reacting to everything he's reading.
Yeah, Jackson, was this you watching the movie?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And Megan, I wish I had a face like a disgusted face. I don't have a disgusted face to put on. Maybe I'll just use her raw reaction. This was her watching the movie. Nice. Oh, that's funny. No.
But
Okay, that wasn't bad. That would have been a better reaction.
I was confused. There was a little bit of reactionary from Bastian when like the wind was going. I was kind of already tuning out by this point, but where I think the windows open or whatever in the attic that he's at, and so he has to close them or something, and there seemed as though more danger was looming. I caught that from when I started to pay attention again, but yeah. So a little bit of the book, danger, and then whatever is happening around him.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't think there's too much to it. I was just wondering what people thought.
Yeah.
Not everything's super deep, right? All right, great. Real quick before we move into the next chapter, I know we've been talking about the score a lot. This is just like your personal preference. Is there like a certain song in the movie that you guys like really enjoyed that stuck out to you? Can you remember what it was?
I think it's like probably the main theme. Like you said, like the scene when he's riding
Falkor.
The dog. Falkor.
Dog dragon.
Yeah, the dog dragon. Yeah, the creepy looking dog dragon.
Oh.
I feel like that's the song I remember when I was a kid. So it just sticks to me. It just, brings me back. So I really enjoy that one.
Isn't that like the only song? Were there
I
other
think it
songs?
is. I can't remember any other songs. Jackson has a whole playlist. He can tell us.
Going on.
There was
But
like,
you talking about
the
score
swamp,
or-
the sadness of the
Oh,
swamp.
I
that
guess
had its
I
own
don't know.
song.
I guess
remember.
when you say song, for some reason I'm thinking like song with lyrics and
No,
stuff.
no, I'm
like-
talking about
You're talking about like the score. Okay,
Theme.
okay, yeah. The main song to me a lot of people know that song and they don't even have never seen the movie or even know of the movie. My husband had heard that song. He had no idea where it came from or anything like that. So
That's weird how it like traveled that way, I feel like I've heard it in other things almost. But
I only heard it in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say
because
Stranger Things.
this was made, it's a song about the movie.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I guess nobody has that main one's really good. I really like that one. I really like that Ivory Tower one too. I think that one's awesome. Here, let's see if the chat has anything else interesting to say before we move on to the final chapter of the story. Boca has another positive message. Haley Steinfeld was terrible in True Grit 2010 and was still better than Hathaway.
I didn't think she was terrible in True Grit. She was like nominated for an Oscar. I can't remember if she even
Boca
won.
is a very harsh critic.
Obviously. I'm not crazy about her. I really don't like her very much, but
Yeah.
I don't think she was terrible in True Grit.
I have this starred from early on. Our friend Mega Spidey Man. I was just waiting to talk about it. I thought we'd wait till we get to towards the end. I'm curious as to what the panel's favorite characters or moments were. The final Atreyu / Gmork scene and Bastian / Empress scene, along with Atreyu, are great. Love most of the cast. Falkor's by fave.
I know the answer to that for me right away. It's the Atreyu and Gmork scene.
Same.
Because of
Yeah.
what Gmork was saying. I even wrote down one of the lines Gmork said because it felt so relevant to especially like when the world ended a few years back. He said, people who have no hopes are easy to control and whoever has the control has the power.
Yep.
Yeah.
That seems like that's like relevant all the time. It's like a reflection of just what happens a lot of times in humanity, different time periods, and just like that's a never ending thing for people.
Yep.
Ooh,
There you
You
go.
know?
nice. Never ending. I think my favorite moment was probably I really liked the Bastian Empress scene. I thought that one was really good. Like you, Mega Spider-Man. I also just love I love every single moment we get where we see Atreyu flying with Falkor. I just think it's so magical, and it leaves such a happy, loving impression on me that I really want to see more of. And I don't know, I just want to feel that way all the time. Anybody else, real quick, before we move on?
I like the Gmork scene too, though, because like Sin said, that just that it's weird when a random line comes out of a movie like this that really just makes you think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I see. Let's see. I like Boica. He's so supportive today. He says, "Smash the like and subscribe buttons, folks.
Aw.
Even if you're just lurking, please help the channel out for free. Thank you, Boa. We appreciate it. If
Good
you
man.
are enjoying what we're saying today, if you agree with us or disagree, it's okay. We appreciate all thoughts. If you don't mind giving us a thumbs up and subscribe and sub to all the wonderful channels here joining me, offering opposition to the discussion. welcome opposition. It's good. So we actually have 2 chapters and we're getting close to the end here. Let me just put up another great image here. Oh, not that one. How do I put the other one up? That one's all right too. Here we go.
That's a
He
good one.
is, young Atreyu here. He is smiling, but it's actually a really terrible thing that's happening here. So Atreyu, he's flying away. He's trying to find the young man, Bastian, who is supposed to save the world, right? And while he's flying on Falkor, he's got no time to lose. He really doesn't know where to go. And he falls off of Falkor. He's separated by him due to the Nothing. The Nothing is consuming all of Fantasia. It's a really awful state of affairs here. And Atreyu, he washes up in these ancient ruins. And there he sees the rock bite from the beginning of the film. Remember him, guys? And unfortunately for this character, he's very depressed. And he's depressed. He's reflecting on his inability to save his friends from their death to the Nothing. All of those cute, interesting characters we met in the very beginning of our trip to Fantasia, they're all dead. They're dead. And the Nothing swallowed them. And, this great, rock giant couldn't save them, even though he's big and powerful. And he's had it's a very weird little sad moment where he's reflecting on it. Very touching. And from there, Atreyu, he wanders up into the ruins of this sacred space, and he sees paintings on the walls of every event he's encountered along his journey. It's him through all of these different phases, and we don't see farther than what he's encountered at this point. And this is where he confronts Gamork, who reveals the true nature of the Nothing as humanity's lost hopes and dreams. And choosing to deny fear, Atreyu commands Gamork to strike him. And as Gamork lunges at him, he quickly kills the beast with one swift stab.
Whoa.
Wait, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, just that scene. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Before we get to that, though, I want to talk about Rockbite. Let me put a picture of him up because I have a picture. Oh man, I'm literally clicking the button and it's putting other characters. This is tripping balls. How do you guys think Rockbite's brief appearance here at the end drive home the heartbreaking nature of the end of the world? Why was it important that he delivered that?
He was the one that came upon those characters in the beginning to tell them what all was going on, and so it's kind of like it's come full circle back around to him.
Yep.
Yeah. It was compelling because Atreyu hasn't seen or heard of these other animals or these other beings that he's talking about, and for him to just continue to say, I'm tall and strong and I have big hands and I still couldn't keep them was sad.
Did it make you sad, Megan?
A little bit.
Yes.
I felt a little bit of emotion.
Did it make you cry?
Did it make you cry?
I did not cry.
Oh.
I did not cry. I didn't really care too much about those characters, but I
Did
felt
Kyle
bad
cry?
for him. No. I think he was in
Did
and out
Kyle
through most of the
cry?
movie.
Oh, come on.
I think that for me, the opening scene, it was just like a, good vibes, happy. It was a happy scene with him. And just seeing him, transition to this sad scene, this is only the second time you see him. So you go from happy to sad. It's kind of depressing,
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally different. In the very beginning, it's him that warns about the how terrible the conflict really is, right? And you see him sort of bond with those other like kind of cute, interesting characters, and now they aren't there. And what's funny for him being this big rock monster, they did such a great job showing this. His eyes were so human and real, and they were tearing up. It was really, I think that's what made it so touching. And it was such an interesting reflection, right? Like this big beast reflecting on, what everybody believes in him, right? Everyone believes he's unstoppable. I imagine he's impenetrable. He's a great beast. And, you look at him and you think, yeah, how could he be vulnerable? But he is, and he's not. There's certain things that, even being this big and strong can't protect against.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened here. And he's really kind of a shell of himself, and he's ready for the nothing to take him too. And it's so sad to see that this positive character who is not a menace. He's well-meaning and a loving character is, at that low point. And it's just a really sad image. I'm glad they had this here, even though I guess it didn't really make sense because this was so far out in the middle of nowhere.
Could he have done more though? That's why I really don't like with these end of the world scenarios. Just so many characters just acknowledging what's going on. It's like, can you guys do something about it? Could they have?
Yeah.
No,
Like
because
he's just sitting there. It's like all sad. It's like, can you maybe try to help out?
Well, how could he help? Like,
I
there's
don't know,
nothing you
man.
can
I'm
do
not
to
gonna
help.
only the human child could help. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Can
Everyone
you go
was
with him or
helpless.
something? Frodo had some help.
Yeah.
If he had a giant rock monster, but he would be able to pluck his horse out of the mud.
Yeah, but the rock monster might have given in to the sorrow as well, and he would have sunk.
He would have sunk to his knees or something.
It would have sunk even further, all the way down.
Well, I mean, in this scene, you're basically just watching how, like, even the strongest people just give in sometimes and just give up. That's what to me, that's what he's representing right here. Because at the beginning, like, as you said, like, he was kind of like all happy and everything. And then as the journey went on and you finally meet up with him again, it's like he's finally come to the just ultimate conclusion of, like, I give up. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are. Sometimes they even give up too, which is shitty, but sorry. I didn't mean to say it, but you know what I mean. It's not.
Curse word.
You said a bad
sorry.
word. Hey, we've done a good job keeping it clean this far.
I try to not do it on your guys' channel.
That's good. I try not to do it either. I'm trying to be better about that. I remember I had a guy in the chat say he appreciated that, we didn't cuss because he likes having these on when kids are around.
We keep it PG.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we don't actually. It would
Well,
be nice.
it would be
nice.
Yeah.
I want it. I think that's cool. But if it happens, it's no big deal. That's life. So real quick, if you guys have a thought about this, because I kind of think I get it. Just a few more questions about this chapter. These ruins were really interesting. It showed the events of, the main character, Atreyu. Gosh, there's just so many weird names here. I'm already starting to forget it. Atreyu. It painted his journey, which is funny because all this is happening in real time, and of course it showcased what was about to happen with Gamork appearing and lunging at him. What do you think these ruins were supposed to represent? How could have all that been painted while the events are still progressing?
Well, that doesn't matter how. This is a magical place. You're not going to get explanation. So I think Ashley kind of touched on this already when she was talking about how he was seeing all of the things he had accomplished so far in his journey, reminding him of how far he'd come.
All right. Well, there we go. Great.
I mean, I don't know. It's
no,
almost
that's good.
midnight here. My brain's
That's
not
good. I
firing
know.
on all cylinders.
I'm trying to get through the end quickly. I'm sorry. This is. I had so many questions about this one. That's fine. That's all good. No worries.
Yeah, this movie's almost as bad as Signs.
It's like he's. Obviously all this takes place in his mind. So why wouldn't the mind construct that, right? I mean,
Can you ask that question one more time? I'm genuine.
No, I'm not going to ask again. We're moving forward. No thanks, buddy. Okay, so Sin, you briefly talked about it, and maybe we could just go over it quickly. This is a major moment when Gamork appears. It's not just like the big bad villain showing up to scare, or it's not like a violent scene necessarily. There's like a philosophy to it because Gamork is trying to explain the meaning of the nothing and his servitude to it, as well as what, Fantasia really is. What do you guys take away from the lesson and the message that Gamork was trying to convey?
I don't know. I just see him as more of he's the final boss basically of the depression that he's going through.
Mhm.
So
Final
he's
boss.
finally that's the last thing that he's got to accomplish before he overcomes the depression. That's what I looked at it as.
He's also kind of like the villain, given, that when the villain is, facing the hero and he goes in this monologue, this spiel
Yes.
about what he's going to do and what's this and this to demoralize the person he's going up against. And also he's the exposition tool telling us what all of this means, what the nothing is, and letting you understand the seriousness of what's actually happening.
All right. Yeah. That sounds good. I think it was interesting how he really established, like, Gamork really spelled out a lot about this entire situation. He spelled out what the nothing was, what it really represented, and the nothing, it grows stronger because people in the real world are beginning to lose their hopes and forget their dreams, which, I mean, nowadays, you think about now, I really feel like you think of like I can't even remember the last time I sat down and I just engaged my imagination, because every time you have the empty moment to do that, you have the impulse of going on your phone and scrolling aimlessly, right? And that accomplishes nothing.
No, I have the impulse of I either need to work or need to watch a movie so that I can review it. And talk
Okay, well,
about
that's a great impulse. I hope everybody has that impulse. I don't think everybody has that impulse.
I only have that impulse like if I'm waiting somewhere, like, the vehicle shop or whatever, and no, not waiting for water to boil or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I get what you mean. It's a message that feels very relevant because yes, technology has sapped a lot of creativity from people.
Well, it's funny, and this is the message in 1984, right? I mean, that's
right?
totally different
there was
world.
a message about the dangers of AI in 1984 as well.
Yes.
Was that
Look where we are.
2001? Is that what you're talking about?
No, the Terminator. What the
Oh,
heck?
crap. When did 2001 come out again?
Oh,
1968.
geez. Yeah, see, I was like,
Oh,
thought it was
wow.
late
Okay,
60s.
I was way
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. It's late. I'm with you, Sin. My brain just turns into mush. And we've been talking a long time. This happens. But we got the last chapter here, and I don't have that many questions attached to it. But we appreciate everybody watching and staying with us. Lots of great discussion to be had here.
You're
still.
such a good host, Jackson.
Oh,
you do
thanks.
have
He
very
is.
thought-provoking
He really is.
questions. I appreciate.
Thank you, Sin. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I care. Movies
I know
are important.
you do, and I love it.
That's
I love
good.
it.
People need to care. If you don't care about something, then life's boring. Let's see here. I see our friend Boaca dropped $5 again. Thanks, Boaca.
Oh my gosh.
Appreciate it.
Nice.
Boaca's a very nice
Yes,
man.
it's true.
He says this movie would never happen. Today he would be sidelined by at least 3 girl bosses. Daredevil aborted again
Most likely.
to save humanity. I love that. Daredevil aborted again. That's so accurate. It's sad.
What?
Daredevil aborted again. It's like,
Is that
gosh,
making
the
fun of
show-
Daredevil Born again?
Yes,
That is
of course.
So good.
Mhm.
Oh,
That is-
Luke,
I'm genuine right now. That is a good show.
Luke, you heard.
Come on, just,
I heard enough about the
That's what-
first season. I was immediately
Well,
not interested.
I mean, this is one of
Just
the good
because
This
it
is
says
not-
it's Marvel, Luke, doesn't mean you have to like it.
This is not the Netflix version. I want the
It's a lot
Netflix
different.
version. That's what I want. And that's not what we're getting with Disney. So
ones.
Luke,
All right.
we
Well,
love you,
it's-
Luke.
if
We
you
love
like
you.
it, that's great. I get why a lot of people don't
It's
like
the
it.
better of Marvel. So
You're feeding the system, Luke. You're feeding the system. Gosh. Yeah, you're right, Boaca. You're right. That is so sad. That's what I'm talking about. It's like you can't, there can be stories with a girl as the lead, and I'm cool with that. As long as we get stories with the guy as the lead and he's the hero. We can have both, but don't take away from the stories about the men. We need those stories, us guys. And we don't want our main characters sidelined. We don't want them belittled and humiliated along the way. And accepting the humiliation either, which is what a lot of these guys do.
Yeah,
So
that wouldn't
it's
fly. if
not
it were the other way
encouraging.
around.
No, right? So I'm totally cool with there being girl movies. I like girl movies. I like, there's a lot of great new girl characters coming into the mix. But man, we got to get some cool guys, and we got to have them run their own shit. So yeah, very good. Thanks, Boako. Copa Ex Machina. I think this is your first time here, Copa. Much appreciated. Called The NeverEnding Story. Ends. What a ripoff. Wow. Someone else said that.
That's a good one.
That's sad. See, it doesn't end, though. The fantasy is reborn. It's not over. You know, I mean, you're not totally wrong. Let's see here. Boako also says, one main takeaway from this movie is Bastian gives his hope the name of his mother. Something he can hold on to personally to keep her memory and love alive for him. There you go. That's a good point.
Mother's name? Was the mother's name really Moonchild or something? Was that what he said?
I didn't hear him. I
said,
couldn't understand
That-
what he said.
Yeah, that's what the
Yeah,
name was.
I
I
didn't
was a
hear
little
anything.
thrown off by
That's
that
his
too.
mother's name?
They're Native Americans.
Not Bastian.
No, Bastian wasn't.
Bastion's not.
Okay.
It was his mother's
Hey,
name. I'm so
Maybe
confused.
she was named in the 70s.
I was
all
gonna
right?
say, okay, maybe she was like a child of the
60s,
hippies and
70s.
stuff. Yeah, but that's still a weird ass name, y'all. Come on.
Mm,
Hell yeah.
that's hilarious. That's what he actually said.
Yeah.
Moonchild.
Oh, Wilkie's here, or he was.
Ah.
Corey.
Wilkie, we talked about you
Corey?
earlier. We referenced you.
You called them old.
Hey, out of love, it was a joke. It was a
He even
joke.
says
That's
that
why he
about
left.
himself.
He does.
That's good. That's why you could play into it. LJ Films and Gaming. When she was younger, my sister loved Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley. Yes,
Sarah
exactly
Connor
right.
is
I love Ripley.
Amazing.
She
I
was
love
great.
Sarah Connor.
Moonchild is a hippie name.
Yes, it is.
He kind of looks like a hippie a little bit.
But I mean, come on, we were in the
well,
80s
Atreyu
by
does.
this point. That's just I don't know. He didn't look like someone who would have a mother named Moonchild. I mean, look at his dad. It just,
You
I
never
don't know.
met anybody with that name?
I've never met anyone named Moonchild.
I
no.
have literally met
What?
like people with that name. But
I
you need to
How many?
remember. Listen, okay, I grew up in a very small town in the middle of the desert, and actually Charles Manson got arrested there. That's where his farm, his little ranch was. Was close
okay.
to where I was at. Okay, and you had the Manson followers. You'd still see them in town with their little. I
Crap.
think they had the little swastikas or something etched in their
Yeah.
heads. Even though that made no sense because he wasn't a Nazi, but whatever. That made no sense. But yeah, there was a whole family that had just bizarre names like that. One of them was like Moonbeam or some shit like that. And then there was a
I mean-
Moonchild.
I knew it was a thing. I've just never actually met somebody who has a name crazy
Yeah.
like that.
I think sometimes that the desert sun just kind of like bakes people's brains. Didn't bake mine. I mean, I'm still all right, but
That's good. You still love the movie, which is good. You know,
Yes.
that means the sun didn't bake your brain.
no.
What are you trying
Okay,
to
what does that
say?
say about Megan?
Texas,
Yeah, I know,
Megan,
exactly.
the sun, you know. Luke, you're funny. Look at what Luke did. $4.99. The NeverEnding Story is almost as good as Avatar Fire and Ash. You are the worst.
Oh, man.
You are the worst. Did you walk out of that? Did you
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah, after yes. Well, I mean, it was $20, so I probably shouldn't have. But after I figured out it was over 3 hours, I was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I
Oh
can't
my,
do this.
that's hilarious.
I
Luke.
was
That's a
done
good
after the
one.
first one. I hate
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
I hate
yeah.
that franchise
Bo-
so much.
Bo-
They
guess so.
suck. Yeah, he said Avatar belongs in the fire and trash.
Agree.
Literally.
Much.
Stop making them, please.
Dude, he's
Yeah.
wasting
Thanks,
his
Luke, for the
talent.
Yeah,
$5.
his last great movie was True Lies. I don't care what anybody else says.
That was a long time ago.
You
No,
were
his
not a
best
fan of
his best
Titanic?
movie he's ever
I
made is gonna be
hate
this
Titanic.
stupid what's that
126
girl's
years ago.
name?
What?
Yeah,
What is it?
the best
He's doing
part
the
is when
documentary
the
now.
ship sinks. But the whole Rose and Jack storyline, can't stand it. Hate it.
All right, after
What's
the
your
super
favorite
chat,
love
we're gonna get to
story?
the after we get to the super chat, we'll go to the final chapter and close. I have a few questions about that one. Boaka again, $5. Thanks, Boaka.
Wow.
We appreciate it. You're great. We appreciate all your support as always. He says, "Where are the Sarah Connors? Where are the Ripleys? Those are true badass women to aspire to.
Yeah.
Not that space Jesus Mary Ray Palpatine. Gosh,
Oh,
Yeah, Mary Ray Palpatine. That's good. That's very, very accurate.
I despise the character of Rey so much. I started to think that I just really didn't like Daisy Ridley, but it's not her. I've seen her in other things. She's fine. I hate the character of Rey Palpatine. I refuse to watch the last two movies. Just watching clips makes me want to like punch her or something. I just cannot. She's so terribly written. Oh my gosh.
Well, she bypassed the character development. That's why.
Yes, exactly. That's why she's terribly written.
She beats the main villain in the first movie like it's nothing. Come on.
With a
How do you recover
lightsaber,
after
which
that?
she has never trained with, and then that battle with her and Kylo. Oh God, whatever. Let's move on.
Oh gosh, yeah. Where are they, Boaca? I mean, you know what? I really like Lucy in Fallout. I think she's great.
I was about to say, you had two pretty good ones in the early 2000s, whether you think it's good game adaptations or not. You had Allison, Resident Evil, and then you had Celine in Underworld.
Oh, Celine.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And they made sense of why they could kick people's ass.
Yes, exactly. Agree.
Saying.
Celine was fantastic.
Yes. I don't know. Those were they were believable because she was a vampire, and then Alice was had T-virus and stuff like that. So makes sense.
Boom. See. Yep. Well, you know, I think horror movies do a good job. I'm always down to see a cool badass girl in a horror film. I don't mind that at all. I come to see that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they push it.
Yeah.
They do, but like with Mary Sue Palpatine, they try to, I guess, explain away her abilities because she has the Force. But Luke had the Force too, and he still had to train his butt off. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Yeah, it's BS. All right, here, let's go on to the final chapter. Final chapter, everybody. Chapter 8, The Ivory Tower. We're finally here. So, thankfully, Falkor rescued Atreyu one more time as right before the Nothing completely decimates all of the land around them. Fantasia is nothing more than an asteroid field of plots of land. Little hope is left for the two. They are literally alone. It's literally just these two. It's just Atreyu and Falkor flying amidst a waste of Fantasia. It's a really sad sight. But nevertheless, you know, the two are still holding on to optimism as they race towards the last remnant of the Ivory Tower to speak with the Empress before the rest of the world is destroyed. The Empress, glowing with light, reveals a grand plan that has been playing out along Atreyu's journey the entire time. Young Bastian, the boy who is reading the story, is the only one who can save Fantasia once he gives her a new name. In utter disbelief in the real world, Bastian flails about as Fantasia falls apart. Desperate to save the world, the Empress begs Bastian to name her, and he finally does. Seemingly too late, though, Fantasia is nothing more than a speck of sand in the Empress's hand. All hope seems lost, but through his power of imagination, Bastian brings back to life Fantasia as it was before nothing existed. We conclude the story with young Bastian flying in the back of Falkor in joy through the real world as his imagination brings to life the wonders of Fantasia. Very happy ending. And it is kind of an ending, but at the same time, you know, Fantasia's restored, everybody's happy, and, you know, there could be more stories to come after that. So just a few more questions before we conclude for the night. How bleak was it seeing Fantasia completely decimated like it was in the end? Were you guys surprised by how far the film went to kind of subvert expectations?
Yeah, I definitely was. And I thought it was interesting that Atreyu brings it up to the Empress. You know, why did you let everything die? You know, what's going on? And why do you have me do this whole quest when I can't fulfill what's going on? So I kind of felt that way as well when watching it. Kind of what was the point? I mean, I get that the boy reading it had to see that everything and had to come full circle, but it just seemed like they could have maybe cut some corners and something could have sped it up, but
I think that whole development, like his obstacles and his trial and his journey, was supposed to build that relationship with Bastian and gain that trust, right? To accept this fantasy and to embrace it, right? Because there's no reason for him to accept it or embrace it if it wasn't for this journey that he related to and that he grew attached to along the way, because he was there for the whole thing. I think that was sort of the point. But yeah, it definitely seemed like it would have been nice if, his lovely horse didn't have to die awfully and, the whole world fall apart in front of him. And yeah, it could have been a lot less brutal.
I was a little bit confused with the ending of just how fast it ended.
Yeah.
At points, like I expected something bigger, a big bad that we didn't see before. I don't know. When I was looking at the runtime, I'm like, oh, it's over and that's it. I was expecting a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess. That was a little surprising. It did kind of end abruptly.
I mean, I didn't need a giant CGI faceless army or something, but you could have given me something to fight.
Yeah, literally the villain was a void, right? That's pretty interesting. And Gamorreek didn't really pose much of a threat this whole time. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty, I guess it's an end of world story, right? You don't usually need like a villain, a face, an evil face to fear. I thought that, I think what made this so impactful was that this movie did such a great job building this world and showing just how incredible it is and unique and beautiful and fantastic. And then to see it all the way till the end, completely gone. Like that's like, I can't imagine anything I've seen in any movie where they've gone all the way. Everything you've seen is destroyed. Every single thing. Like that's pretty crazy. I respect that it decided to go to the nth degree to show just how far and how fearless the story makers were to develop the conflict, to develop the evil that is the nothingness, which plagues us all as the mundane minutia of our life consumes our creativity and our cadence for imagination. Definitely very interesting. I want to talk about the Empress real quick. This is another case where I thought the actress did a great job. I thought she was very impressive. And I kind of wonder what you guys think. Did you think she did a great job, her performance particularly? And if so, what struck you about her performance as the Empress for her brief amount of time she appears?
Her voice, it was giving me ASMR.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
She was quite lovely. She was so cute. She seemed almost ethereal. And I thought her acting was pretty good for the character that she was
10 years
playing.
old.
Yeah.
Wow.
And her voice. I was like, wow, that sounds really good in my earbuds. I like that.
I thought she was good. Her crying scenes were really, really good towards the end. But like I was saying kind of a little bit before, was that it got annoying with me because everyone's yelling at each other. She's saying, give me a name, Bastian, and he's saying, I don't know what to give you, and so it's going back and forth. And then before that was Atreyu yelling what to do, or wasn't sure what to do and was yelling. And so then they're all yelling at a certain point, and then Bastian yells her name, and I couldn't even hear it.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it either.
And I thought to myself, I'm not going back. That's it. I'm not going to know her name. I don't care.
Just turn on subtitles. They help. That's how I
I
knew
didn't
it was
even
a
want to
child.
do that. I didn't even want to do that. I don't know her name.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
Moonchild.
want to go back either, and I love the movie, so I don't have to blame you. I think that was funny how we couldn't hear that. I mean, that is kind of a crucial moment, and we couldn't even hear the name. So I don't even know why. Maybe the screaming. I mean, come on. They are screaming because it is their last hope. Listen, this is your chance. Please help us. If you do not help us now, this whole story has not helped you enough. You still have not made the decision to give me a name. My last call, please. I desperately ask you to give me a name. And she looks directly into the camera. It's like the first time. That's another fourth wall break, right? She's looking right at us because we are Bastian in this moment. and she's like, please, you help me. A direct call to arms.
He closes the book.
Yeah, he
closes the book, goes back to class.
Gosh, I think something just quickly I really admired about her performance was that, it's funny because I want to talk about her eyes, because it's funny, this picture here, they're blacked out for some reason. I don't know why.
Kind of creepy.
Picture. Yeah, it is kind of creepy. They're not like that in the movie. For being only 10 years old, she had this gaze that was so confident and mature, and it looked like an adult woman was looking at us, even though it was obviously a little kid, only 10 years old. And she had this sort of like authority about her. You said she was ethereal. I think that's very fair to say. And it just really seemed like somehow this little actress was able to portray a wise, authoritative figure. Like, I don't even know how a child could possibly convey that, but she did it. And I think her gaze was a big reason for that as well. And the way that she vocalized her words, it was very eloquent. And, you see all of that from her in this desperate time. And this whole story, she's prompted up on a pedestal. She's very important. And we finally get to see her, and she doesn't disappoint. And she's very impressive for being just a little kid. And it's also crazy that it is a little kid. You know what I mean? This isn't some, ancient person or whatever. It's just a little child that has all this power. So pretty cool. You build her up, and she ends up being like this. And she's also glowing, which gives her something also unique. Obviously, she's a character of high power. How do you guys, just quickly, we don't have to get into this long. The Empress's, we don't have very much time with her. We're talking about her performance. But I'm also kind of wondering, to me, I felt like she was very impactful here in the end, even though we only had a little bit of time. What would you say made her short screen time particularly impactful?
Her performance, you already went through all of that, but her performance, just everything. Well, for me, you were kind of waiting for her the whole movie. You feel like she had such a big part, and then you finally get to see it. Yeah, you find it's finally revealed, and that's what I like. That's what I like from. Nothing big, but I appreciate from it.
Not necessarily expecting it's going to be a little child,
right?
Yeah, you think the Empress, you think this adult person, adult female, and it's just this little girl. But she doesn't act like a little girl.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah,
I think the movie does a great job of characters that we really don't see that much in this movie, but they really have some great lines, and they definitely stand out, even though they're barely in it.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, that's special if you're able to pull that off. And this movie does it left and right. Boica. Now, Boica said she's older than me. So when he was a little boy, 3 years old or something, that was his first screen crush. When he was a little boy.
I have a recent picture of her up if you want to.
Yeah, let's see that.
Like. She's beautiful. Look at her eyes. It's in the
Oh, there you go, Boica.
Wow.
Whoa, crap!
Look at those eyes.
Looks like a cat,
right?
Yeah. Those have to be contacts.
I think those are cat eyes.
I don't know. They might be contacts,
weird.
but it would be. I don't know. No,
do you like that, Boica?
Catwoman.
She's very pretty.
See, Boica, there you go. She's your age, or a little older than you. How old is she?
I don't know. She was 10, so she would have been born in 73, 74, depending on when they.
42 years. 42 years ago.
Oh, okay. That's
52 years old. Yeah.
Huh. Parchval says, anyone else meet their first screen crush? Yeah, I met Nev Campbell. She was a lot older. It was a little disappointing.
Why did you say like that?
Oh, she aged from Scream.
She still looks pretty good.
Yes. I don't disagree. But I liked her in Scream 1 and 2.
Jackson, you do know that those people age when they're done with the movie.
I know, of course.
I met Linda Hamilton a couple years ago, and she's aged, but I still think she's beautiful, and she was such a lovely person. Yeah, that
makes it
a
even
nice
better.
One. Yeah, she was just lovely. Held my hands, rubbed my face. I know, she was so sweet.
Where did you say you met her?
I met her at a con.
Oh, wow.
I went up and talked to her. It's like a whole story. Maybe one day I'll tell it to you.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it
cool.
was, it was,
Sorry,
it was
we're
fun.
about to finish up. So I was really happy with this ending here because, thankfully Fantasia is reborn. Everybody's happy. We see what's his face? Bastian. Now he's writing, Falkor. And he's at first writing through Fantasia, and you see everything's back to normal. And one of my favorite moments was it kind of moved me quite a bit. Was we see young Atreyu writing Artax again, and I was so happy. It's like yes, it was so beautiful with the music playing. It was awesome. I loved it, and despite seeing just how tragic everything was leading up to this, I thought it was a really heartwarming finish. Did you guys I know not everybody was the biggest fan of the movie, but were you moved at the end that despite all the terrible tragedies that have happened leading up to this, that everyone is back, they're all safe and happily ever after?
Yeah, it was a great reunion.
Yeah.
You saw that. You saw the Rock Man. You saw Atreyu on his horse. I'm confused. Did the horse not die?
No, everyone was brought back. Everybody
been
was dead.
restored.
Oh, that's okay.
Everything
that's right.
was gone, and now it's back.
Okay. Yeah. So, the swamp wasn't the void, so technically, I don't think the horse should have came back because everything that disappeared. I mean, I like the horse.
You can do anything. You can make anything happen in your imagination. It doesn't matter what happens.
I was gonna say everything in the void came back. I just knew that the horse wasn't a victim of the void. But
well, if he had the power to, if what he did had the power to kind of help bring everything back to life, could it not have the power to reverse all the bad that had happened before everything was destroyed?
Question. I am.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a plague of the imagination later when he gets older, right? It'll probably happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's his own personal world, right? It's not, I don't think it's other people's. Everybody has their own if they build one. Great.
Jackson, I have a question. Do you think that he gives the book back to the guy?
I know. I was wondering that too. Never showed it.
The second one.
That's a good.
He does?
Oh, he does in the second one.
Oh, no.
What? He doesn't?
I think the guy's okay with him keeping.
I don't recall. I think that he had it in his
Sure
room.
he is.
He was happy when he left with it. He was smiling when he noticed he left,
Yeah.
and he didn't even. I don't think he saw the note yet when he was smiling. So
So I watched it and it was all in German subtitles. So what did it say?
what?
What did it say on the letter? It was in German.
It said I will return this.
Yours was in
Oh.
German.
I'll bring your book back. Or something
Don't worry,
like
I will.
that.
It was a
Bring your book
different
back.
copy.
What copy did you watch? That's
I don't
weird.
know.
Mine was English.
That's
I
maybe
don't
why.
know.
That's maybe why he didn't like it so much. It was in German.
Yeah, it was English. They were speaking English.
I heard them in English. This was written in German.
Nice.
I was watching it on the app called Plex, and for some odd reason, the voices weren't there, so it was just the background audio for everything.
You watched that all the way through like
you
that?
guys, it was on Tubi
Yes.
on Tubi.
It's
That's
Why
where I
would you watch
watched it
that?
with subtitles and everything,
it free
like
from
English
Tubi?
subtitles.
It was
Oh.
free.
Well,
Yeah,
I got
it's
it
free.
$6
Tubi's-
on Prime.
So I looked up.
Dude,
We don't have
you
your
guys
money,
should
Luke.
always go to Letterboxd whenever you're looking for a movie and look and see where you can watch it. That's what I
Yeah.
did. I always check there first.
Sorry, it was
So I
called the
don't have-
International Cut. That's what I watched.
Oh, okay.
I saw after this. I loved it. Of course, I think I'm gonna buy the 4K copy. It's $60.
Oof.
Well,
But I
wait,
gotta
hold
have-
on. Where are you going to get it from?
Orbit.
I saw, or are you going to get the big one? Because I saw it for like $52 on there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Maybe they just
whatever the
restocked
Orbit
it.
one has. Yeah.
Okay, because I was about to say,
Wow.
I
go
think I
there,
took that.
please.
Jackson.
You think that's the best option, Orbit? Or
Oh
do
yeah,
you-
they package the best and they literally ship it within the day.
Okay. I
So,
think I'm gonna
yeah.
have to do that.
Jackson.
Yeah. Mhm.
Speaking of 4K DVDs, do you want a portable DVD player?
No.
No? Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
I have one
don't need
so boxed up right below my desk. I happen to look at
that. Maybe
it.
you could give that away to a lucky audience member.
Ooh.
Hey,
You have to pay the shipping fee of $20, $25.
that's worth
Real quick, before we end the stream, I want to give away some memberships.
it.
So let me, to celebrate, since people love NeverEnding Story, let's celebrate it. I'm going on
Can
to do this real quick. 1 second.
How many?
I think it's 5. I would give away more if I could. All right, here we go. Engage with your audience. Actually, here, I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to start a poll. Do you love NeverEnding Story? All right, we're going to do a poll, and then I'm going to give away the 5 memberships in the end. All right, here we go. Sending 5 memberships. Let's see who gets it. All right. Who got it? Oh, Boica got one.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice.
Cool.
Kendon B. What's up, Ken? Cynical Skeptic. There you go. Oh, Acynical Skeptic. Thank you, Acynical, for being here. Mr. Darkinson and Lego Man 8498. These are all new faces. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. You are now a member, and you can look at all of my DVD tour videos. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Oh, look at that. He wanted one. Me, pick me. That's good. That's
Nice.
good. Great. Well, I don't think there's any more super chats or anything. So that'll be it for us, everybody. We went late. 3 hours and 10 minutes. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. I
Yeah,
know it
of
was a
course.
long one. This is a
It's fun.
passionate discussion. Great talk with all you guys. Do you guys recommend the NeverEnding Story?
Absolutely not.
I do.
Hard
It was
pass.
a- it was a
tired
fun
and slap
movie.
happy. And, all right. No, I do recommend it.
Yeah, I can't not recommend it. You know, it's kind of like one of those classics from back in
I
the
think-
day.
I think it's like an essential, even if you're like Megan and you don't like it, but at least you checked it off the essentials list.
Yeah.
Because most people would say it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's there are elements about it that are very embedded into culture. I mean,
Yeah.
the song, you see that meme all the dang time.
The
So-
dog, the flying dog. You see that
Yeah.
a lot.
The flying dog. That's not a dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon
I
Ball.
feel like the awesome thing about this movie is that whether you like it or you don't like it, it's unique. It's one of a kind.
I would say it's a bit overhyped. It's good. Like it looks beautiful. I'm just not a huge fan of how long it is. And the kids in
An
it.
hour and a
not
half.
that long.
It's long for me.
Oh.
It insists
But
upon
I
itself.
would say that I loved good companion pieces. Page Master. What was
That
it? The
movie's
Princess
awesome.
Bride. I feel like The Princess Bride's really good.
Remind me
Sin
of
said
the
that.
Princess Bride. Yeah.
And then I really liked A Little Princess. It's kind of a little bit kind of close to it. It's not as immersive, but she has her own world versus what she's dealing with. So those are 3 good movies I thought of that were
Page
similar.
Master sounds
Definitely.
familiar.
Page Master has Macaulay Culkin in it.
Is there a puppet in that? Puppet? Like Pinocchio?
No, it's mainly cartoons.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
way off.
And they're like little books that
I
talk
think
to
I'm
them.
thinking of a
Yeah.
horror film.
Yeah, I
Real
think it
quick,
might be.
Dr. Fowl, he wanted us to mention this. He says, you missed my fun fact about my first screen crush. Not that you guys would believe me. He says, my first screen crush let me use her Amazon Prime. Wow. Who is it? Tell us who she is and what she's famous for. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man. Oh, Ian says Inkheart is another good one, Megan. There
Awesome.
you go. Yes, Brawler recommends with bright stars, shining lights. Absolute
Exploding
recommend.
firecrackers
This
and everything.
is top. You know what? It's been a
Mount
privilege
Rushmore?
to talk about this. We had Passion of the Christ 2 weeks ago. That's at the top of the list. And this one is very close. Very
wow.
close.
Okay.
Yes. You see that?
You
See how close
really,
this is?
really liked it.
You see how close it is, people? It's close. So yes, you must watch the NeverEnding Story, especially if you're an artist. You will truly respect it. And yes, just everything, the world of creativity and imagination. It'll bolster you to bring back those great childlike qualities that we all need to engage with every day. But that's going to be it for us, everybody. We appreciate you all watching. Be sure to check out all the channels here. We had our friend Sin, Megan the Texan, Ashley. Good to have you back. World War Joe. Check them out. Description below. Give them a sub. If you liked what I had to say, and if you like the way this works, this happens every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, live. We'd love you to join us live if you can. Next week, we're going to be talking about the original Matrix. So it should be very interesting. Very
Okay.
different.
All right.
Very different
Finally.
today. So yeah, very exciting. We appreciate you all being here. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
What kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky?